Hey everyone, it's me Doomlink and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. We are here in Generations Ultimate once again because it is the easiest game for me to record. Well, in fact it's really the only one that I can record, at least on my television. I was actually considering at some point to maybe, not anytime soon, but in the future, I think it would be a really good thing to try and route my PC to my television so that I can play Monster Hunter games on my television, because I always prefer to give you guys video content while I'm playing something on the television. It just feels better. I have more distance between myself and the screen. I can very easily position a camera between me and the screen because I have space to put a tripod and things like that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't really record PC stuff live. It's because the setup is just not as easy, it's not as smooth, and it ends up not looking quite as good as well. So yeah, maybe one solution for that would be to just display my PC on my television whenever I'm recording. I'm going to preface this recording with the following disclaimer. It is the fact that there is a large excavator outside doing something. My guess would be digging up a road or something. It's that fucking loud. Not necessarily digging, more like, you know, using the large machinery equivalent to a jackhammer. I guess it's still called a jackhammer, I don't know. That's what it sounds like, it's fucking awful. So if it does enter the microphone at all, you do have my sincere apologies. I'm recording Generations Ultimate quite a lot at the moment because I feel like, you know, just continuing to work on Monster Hunter, it's good for the algorithm on my channel anyway. And yeah, just keeping you guys, I suppose, satisfied, because I know that a lot of you are here to watch Monster Hunter stuff primarily, and I feel bad just doing one recording per week. So whenever I feel like I'm comfortable to do some Monster Hunter, I'll jump on that feeling, I'll jump on that opportunity to deliver something that you want to see. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and one of the reasons why I'm prompted to do this as well is because no one seems to want to watch A Link to the Past. I will still record it for myself, but I just feel a little less inclined to do it these days. So, yeah, that's the reason why I'm here. Hey Phoenix, good to see you. Yeah, I wasn't really having a bad day yesterday personally, it's just, unfortunately, the game that I was playing really sucked. I need to make it very clear, when I play Skyward Sword, and I get very angry, it doesn't really... I allow myself to get angry on camera because I know it's entertaining. I'm not truly, like, angry, infuriated, you know. I mean, it's an infuriating experience. That's not, you know, I'm not acting. I'm, like, legitimately angry, but it doesn't affect my day, fortunately, so... But I do appreciate your well wishes. And, hello Spaceman, and hello Pablo. It's good to see you. Haven't seen you recently, Pablo. Okay, so I guess we'll go and search for a room. If you're ready to hunt, Vernon, then we'll do it. I will do the usual. I will, find a turns room with maybe one person in it, and we will start from there. Lighting should be good. It's low lighting at the moment, but it should be consistent. If it's not consistent, then, well, it's going to be less than ideal, but hopefully it just stays the way it is. It's fine, for the moment. In terms of finding a room, again, if I can't get a room with one single slot for turns, which is the ideal situation, then I will just make my own room, because at that point, well, it'll be easier. Oh, not turns. Very interesting. It's very confusing because for someone who's not in the room, we have no way of knowing what the hell he's doing. If he set a monster objective, maybe he's just doing random quests, but other people aren't allowed to choose. I don't really understand, but I do agree that sometimes it is necessary to let people know that it's not a turns room, because there is some sort of assumption that any room that you go into, unless otherwise specified, is in fact a turns room. It's really bizarre. Skyward Sword best Zelda game. Zelda livestream on the 18th. Oh, I see. Probably a new Breath of the Wild 2 trailer since it's the Zelda 35th anniversary. I will try to, hopefully you got all that. I will try to actually, I knew nothing of this until Potato just mentioned it. I will try to, you know, live stream it as well. Like, I'll live stream the live stream, give you guys my reactions. If not, then I'll do a non-live video. What it really comes down to is whether or not it's in the middle of the fucking night. We will have to see. Usually Capcom likes to do it in the middle of the night for me, like around midnight, 1 AM sort of thing, which is not in any way conducive to a good, you know, webcam-based video recording. So it really depends on what happens there. What did I just do? Did I join the room? I swear I pressed square. That shouldn't have caused me to join the room. I don't even know what I joined. Anyway, the fact that it's the Zelda 35th anniversary is really exciting because, of course, everyone is expecting something. We don't know if it's going to be an Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask remake on the Switch, or remaster, hopefully, as opposed to remake. Or if it's going... Well, I guess remake, yeah. We do want a remake, that's right, because I don't like the original games. They haven't aged well. It could be Skyward Sword, it could be Breath of the Wild 2, I mean, we could be seeing all sorts of things. Everything's on the table because, you know, everyone's been snooping around at the Zelda patents, and it would appear that, you know, things are gearing up. We're about to get a lot of action in the Zelda space, and with the 35th anniversary coming up, and with a live stream coming up, I think I'd like to be present to react to it. I'm not doing Lao Shanlang. In case you needed me to explain to you why I looked at the board and then decided to leave the room, yeah, I'm not doing Lao Shanlang. There's also the fact that there probably wouldn't be enough room for Vernon to join. Let me see what I can do. I might just have to make my own room at this point. It's starting to look that way. Let's do it. I'm going to create a room. Turns. I guess I'll just call it turns. You can just skip my turn. Of course, the higher my hunter rank, the more inclined people are going to be to join the room. On Nintendo Direct, it's not Zelda specific, but I expect Zelda heavy stuff. Okay, well that's a pretty good guess. Whether it's Zelda heavy or not, I can't say, but I think there will be something Zelda related there. So I would say it's worth watching. Perhaps not worth doing a live stream on my end, but I think doing something would be good. You know, just a recording, and then I can react live to the unveiling of whatever the hell comes. Well, I suppose there's a higher chance of it being Zelda 2 than anything... Zelda 2, Breath of the Wild 2 than anything else, but... Also, Potato, I do thank you for your donation yesterday. For some reason, when you donated to me yesterday, I looked at my emails, and at the top of my emails was an unread donation notification from you, but it was your previous donation, so I read that instead, and so it might have been a bit of an underwhelming reaction. In actual fact, Potato donated 50 Australian dollars to me yesterday, and with that money, I bought this bottle of whiskey. I was going to buy a bottle of gin, but they raised the price of the gin that I usually buy. So, yeah, what I do is I get a bottle of Bell's. It's a very nice peated budget whiskey, we'll call it. I don't like calling it a budget whiskey because it's actually nice. It's one of the only whiskies in its price range that I actually enjoy drinking, mainly because it's peated, it's fairly smooth, and it's just a nice... it's good value for money, you know. I can get a bottle of it for about $50. So, that was literally bought by Potato. We are going to be waiting for some people to join anyway, so this is a good opportunity for me to fix my lighting scenario, because it's gone from rainy and overcast to bright fucking sun, which happens every time I go live. As you guys can actually attest to. This is Australian weather, it's fucking shit. It needs to either be all sunny or all rainy, no matter what. That's what I prefer. But no, the weather can never decide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorganize my lighting scenario. It'll take me about a minute, maximum 2 minutes, and hopefully by that time we will have 4 people to hunt with. I'll be back momentarily. I'm back. Still need to do some slight adjustments. Okay. Should be good. Okay, what are we hunting first? I'm gonna guess Elatrion. I haven't checked the board, but I think it's Elatrion because I remember last time we were playing, Vernon needed Elatrion. What have we got? Yep. Alright. I'm cool with that. I just need to use something interesting. I'm gonna go Blade Master because I have not gone Blade Master with Elatrion in a long time, so we're gonna do that. Oh yes, and I also need to read the chat. Oh yeah, you recently beat your first Black Fatalis and first Raging Brachydios, Pablo. That's good to hear. They are, you know, at the high level of hunts in the Monster Hunter series, not just, you know, whatever game they appear in. They are quite strong. But yeah, drinking out of my regular glass. Again, this bottle, this whole fucking bottle, was practically bought by Potato. Same price as what he donated. So, thank you, Potato. There's nothing to apologize for, then. I enjoy these. You know what? I might go Gunland. This is perfect. I'm going to use exactly what I've got right here. I feel a little bit stupid going into the weapon preparations area, or the loadout preparation area, and then coming out with the exact same set. But this works out rather well. You know, Gunlance on Elatrion. I can't remember the last fucking time I bothered doing that. Gunlance on Elatrion. I actually cannot think of a time in the past where I've done it. I must have done it before. I just can't even think of one time when I've done it. So this might be a new thing, a new experience, so we'll see what happens. Of course, I'm going Blast just because I don't want to have to deal with the changing elemental weaknesses of Elatrion, depending on whether he is in the air or not in the air. Of course, you can't really say whether he's in the air or not in the air anymore. It used to be that way. But these days, as of almost Portable Third, but I'd say particularly 3 Ultimate, his changing elemental weakness was not really dependent upon whether he was in the air. He would fly into the air just to begin that change of phase, but he stays in the air a lot less in the games that come after Tri. In Tri, he was pretty much only in the air. The only time that he would come down from the air was after he would do his Icicle Rain attack, and then even at that point, it was a short time spent on the ground. He would either go straight back in the air, or he would just return to being, you know, dragon form, I suppose. Dragon form. Returns to being dragon form. That's how you speak English, everyone. Anyway. Okay. So, I don't think we need to set up for anything else. I'm just, you know, making sure that everything's under control, because I did die twice in this location. I was thinking it might have even been 3 times. Not in the same quest. It was twice in the same quest, but yeah, anyway. Wow, Gunlance with Elatrion. This feels so strange. I wonder how I'm going to perform. I think I'll be able to perform fine. I mean, I'm very familiar with Elatrion. He's one of my most, I guess, comfortable hunts. I fought him so many times in Tri and so many times in Portable Third, but I will say that it is a little different to fight him Blade Master. It's quite different. I mean, I should still remember how to do it. The only game where I really fought Elatrion with Blade Master was a Tri, so all the other games just went ranged because it was easier and more fun, actually. There's a little bit more risk involved, I would say, although it is a little difficult at times to go Blade Master with Elatrion. He is designed to fuck with people who go Blade Master quite a little bit, and that destroyed all of my I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say. I guess I was having a premonition before I jumped into this area. What the fuck? I shield the lightning, all my stamina gone, cannot shield, I'm shield reliant because I'm using a gun lance, and then I'm practically one-shot by that attack. I can't fucking believe it. We might yet see why I never go gun lance with Alatreon. We may very well get an intimate demonstration as to why I do not do that. Do I have foodie? No. What? Why do I still have my food skills? What the fuck? What does that mean? I still have my food skills. Okay. You saw nothing. Finally not late for a stream? Welcome, trash. I regret that you decided to join right as I died, rather pathetically. I mean, I don't feel as if I died foolishly. It seemed like a pretty reasonable way to die. I really had nothing that I could do in that moment, and he's dealing a shitload of damage. My defense is 705? I've fucked up, guys. I've seriously fucked. 705 against Alatreon. Holy shit, this is not good. I don't care if I've got a shield. That's almost not good enough. Look how much... I lost like 1/10 of my health just by shielding that. This is not good, guys. I need to be extremely careful. I can't believe I'm about to have a repeat of that fucking Crimson Fatalis hunt from yesterday. Well, the day before, I should say. From last recording is what I meant to say. I just can't believe this shit now. Shoot you there. Just have to, you know, carefully watch what he's doing. I generally know exactly what he's doing, it's just whether or not I can actually handle it. With my shield, with my defense, with everything. Sadly, I cannot blast him there. I aim for the tail. Got no idea how damaging that's going to be, but I want to at least contribute something. I'm not just going to sit at camp and, you know, shiver in fear. Although I am starting to feel that way. Blademaster Alatreon, with about 150 less defense than what would be ideal. So, yeah. I mean, usually I'm sitting at about 800 anyway. Ideally you'd be around 850, but I'm usually not at ideal defense. But this is going a little far. I'm barely hitting 700, so you probably do curse my Monster Hunter streams, trash. Anyway, I really should be focusing on what's going on here. I'm too busy reading the chat. Basically, you know exactly where Alatreon's going to fall because he will, in this game, it didn't used to be this way in, I'll explain how it was in the previous games, but in this game, he will target a specific person with icicles. Now that's not new, but in this game, he will land right next to the person that he was targeting. In previous games, he would choose one person to target repeatedly with falling icicles, but he would always land in the same place. I suppose the change here is the change of locale. So, I thought that was going to be a roar. Should be able to get a heavy strike. Oh yeah, the reason why Alatreon can fuck around with people going Blademaster is the Dragon Claw, and the sort of a Rathalos-esque attack where he jumps back and then drops fire right where he jumped back from. That's very dangerous for Blademaster players, so it's not a terrible thing that I've got a shield here, but it certainly will be a terrible thing if I lose stamina, hence my use of whatever it is, Mega Dash Juice, yeah. You never know, land compensation might have dealt the damage. You can always hope for these things. Yeah, I have to admit, dying that early is pretty sad. Pretty sad. Let's try to do some of this business. Just to make sure that we're dealing good damage while he's in the air. Not taking any chances here. I'll blast dash you. Oh, I don't even have a shot to shoot on him. It's a bit foolish, although I can take this opportunity to Dragon Blast his face. Try and get a Horn Break. You never know. Oh, that was very good. Very nice. Did not get a Horn Break, I regret to say. I'll aim away from the wings. I don't want to be bouncing, so I'll do a combo just here. I didn't go for the shot because I don't want to miss it. Because the thing is, if you do a heavy shot after one of those full gun lance combos, it does leave you kind of vulnerable for a moment, and I'm not taking any chances with this defense. So that's fine. Oh, it's continuing. He'll do 3. I'm doing the advance, even though it wasn't really necessary, given my position in relation to the monster, because I believe the advance thrust with the gun has to have better motion value. I say I believe because it would stand to reason. I haven't actually checked motion value charts, it just makes more sense to me that the advance forward would be better. So that's the reason why I did the advance forward, even though I didn't actually need to get closer to the monster. Hey Jenny. Oh, I'm always distracted while playing Monster Hunter Live. Don't worry about that. I don't blame my distraction for anything. Because at the end of the day, it's my choice to be distracted. I mean, I could just sit here and ignore the chat, but why would I do that? That's not fun. I go live so I can chat with you guys. But I'm glad you enjoyed the commentary anyway, that's my style of recording. I don't just sit here and fucking stare at the game in silence. I don't understand how people are entertained by that. Especially in this rather cutthroat entertainment world we now live in. But that's the way streams have been. It's always been a bit of a different sort of environment. But I began in an era prior to streams even existing, so back in those days, you talked. You didn't just fucking sit there. So that's the way I do live streams as well. Although definitely I do have a less constant, less consistent commentary while live as compared to a non-live recording. If you want like a traditional commentary, that would be Doomlink's Random Hunts. Although my most recent Doomlink's Random Hunts is a bit too frantic because I had way too much to discuss about freedom. Should have just, you know, left it for multiple videos instead of just one. Anyway. That particular attack always catches you, because what happens is, well, this is what happens with me anyway, I'm always standing exactly where he begins the ice breath, and there's nothing you can do. It's really fucking annoying. Alright, I can blast dash this and then I'll sharpen afterwards. I don't know why I got stuck in that fucking combo. Ooh, yes, managed to get the shot off on the head too. That's good to see. Alrighty. Of course, a lot of people get heavily tripped up by Alatreon changing the direction of his charge, but that comes from Teostra. This monster is... I mean, I was trying to get out of there, but I was stuck in my sharpening animation. At least I have good thunder defense. At least I would assume so, because I did not die in one hit. Thunder res -15, well... I don't know who I should be thanking for that. Maybe the Divine. Keep the fuck away from... What did I get hit by? I was literally avoiding the fucking thunder. This is what happens when you talk about surviving. You fucking die. I cannot believe... 2 deaths again! What is happening? I need to start paying attention to what I go into quests with. I've become so incredibly complacent when it comes to these high-level quests that I just go in with totally unideal defense. It doesn't matter how good you are at Monster Hunter. If you're getting one shot, it's over. And I mean, I technically wasn't one shot there. I think I still had a little bit more health to recover. Excuse me. I think I still had a little bit more health to recover, but you know, if you're taking that much fucking damage, it's very easy to just die, and I apologize for dying twice, team. I'm really, really not helping the situation. It's definitely turning into a fucking faint stream. It feels that way. I don't know why I'm being given a Konbanwa, because much like Japan, I do have a morning time zone currently. It is, it's 10 in the morning actually. I'm assuming it's about 9 in the morning in Japan. So, yeah. One good thing about the Australian time zone is that it's very close to the Japanese time zone. Alright, no more deaths, guys. If I do die again, then we may run the risk of failing. I don't know if anyone's eaten for insurance, but I'll tell you what, I'm really not contributing well to this hunt at the moment by dying twice stupidly. And I don't even know how much damage I'm really doing, probably not that great. not hitting major weak points or anything like that, so... Yeah, I'm less than impressed by this entire situation. You guys are starting to appreciate how much better I am in my comfort zone, like range, for instance. But, I mean, I don't think I'm performing poorly with the gun lance necessarily. I mean, maybe I could be performing better. I'm sure if you compared my current play to that of someone who exclusively uses gun lance, then yes, I would be kind of not amazing at what I'm doing, but it's mainly to do with the fact that I'm just taking ridiculous damage. And, you know, sorry. I'm doing what I can. I'm just warming up, yes, well, this is serving as a rather humbling warm-up, sort of putting me in my place. I'll shield that. Not fucking taking any chances with that business. Oh dear. No, 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 no. I was getting flinched and I was really worried that I would not be able to actually shield out of the flinch to shield that attack. Fortunately, didn't end up being that kind of situation. Again, when you do your heavy shot, you have to be very careful that you're not in a compromising position because you are left quite vulnerable. It's maybe a second and a half of just not being able to do anything, maybe even longer. So that's another thing you have to take note of when it comes to Elatrion. You have to shield the explosion of the fire, not the source of the fire. In other words, you don't shield the breath, you shield the explosion on the ground, which is why I turned to it like that. Let's get a Dragon Blast on the go. I won't bother trying to get it somewhere in particular. Good job, guys. You did well considering you had a handicap. Me. Fucking hell. You're in California, Trash? I do have a lot of US viewers. That's the main reason why I recorded this time. It's good for the people in Europe and the UK who stay up late, and it's good for people in the US because it's kind of, you know, early to late evening, and I guess people in the morning in my time zone who, for whatever reason, are actually wanting to watch something, they can watch that as well. I feel like mid-morning Australian time is really the best time to go live. It suits a lot of people. So, I just realised that we've got Lord Fitz as well as Lord Zor. I hadn't taken notice of that at all. But yeah. I have to tell you, it's so good to drink this bottle of Bells. That bottle of brandy that I had, I was drinking it yesterday and the day before. So fucking shit, man. So fucking shit. It's just, it was the most pathetic thing. Just don't buy cheap brandy, okay? Don't do it. Against my better judgment. Well, actually, it'll be backwards. The label will be backwards. I mean, it's called Prince Napoleon. Okay, to start with, if you have anything French that has Napoleon in the branding, that's already a strike against the actual product. Because I cannot personally think of a more boring French branding than mentioning Napoleon. I mean, it's so fucking stupid, you know. I don't even know what an equivalent would be, but it's dumb, and I think everyone can appreciate how dumb it is. It's, yeah, it's called Prince Napoleon Brandy. They've gone to the trouble of putting 5 stars on the fucking label, which is also a strike against it, because it means they're trying too hard. If they use words like premium, or they put 5 stars on the label, it's like, oh, here we fucking go. And it says, Prince Napoleon Brandy, 5-star aged French brandy. And on the back it says, well, nothing of real interest. Produce of France, bottled in Australia. If it says bottled in Australia, that's also a bad sign. But you know the fucking crazy thing about it? I don't know if you can hear this. Did you get, like, an auditory sense of how bad this screw top is? It barely fits the fucking bottle. Now let me give you an example. I'll give you an example of a good screw top and a bad screw top. Let's give you the bad example first. It's not even... I can't even unscrew it. Oh. And then there's also, like, black dye on my hands sometimes if I touch... Like, it's so bad. Okay, and now, ladies and gentlemen, here's a nice screw top. You guys probably really don't fucking care. I'm sorry. But it struck me. It really struck me that, if the screw top of a bottle is that shit, don't expect much of the liquid contained within. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, it should sound really abrasive and not nicely fitting to the bottle. I don't know. No, I've never had COVID. Fortunately. Although I have been a bit of a risk taker. That's not a conversation I'd like to get into. Astalos Hyper. Okay. Well, I'm pleased to announce that we're not going to be dying anymore. That's done. That's over and done with. If you get some sort of kick out of watching me die, that's over and done with. So, yeah. Just watch over and over again. Just replay that scene of me dying. If you do feel the need to see me die again, because that's the only way you're going to see it in this recording. Okay, let's go hammer. Hammer Astalos. Oh, we've got the ice hammer. It's by default. Hold on, this has shit defense too, doesn't it? 7-11. Oh god. Why do all my sets have shit defense? It's because of the Hayabusa feather. I have chosen to completely abandon good defense for the benefit of increased effectivity. I nearly said effectability. Well, I practically did. Well, I've said it twice now. Anyway, basically, I've gone with better skills at the expense of my defense, and it's sad. Moxie and Exchanger? Very good. I will take that. I don't know why I'm going Gun Lancing, Elatrion, followed by Hammering Astalos. I'm doing weird shit today, guys. Weird shit. Alright. What are we fighting? We are fighting Astalos. Where does he start? I think in the jungle area. As in north. That's my guess. I don't have a clear memory of him starting there, but it would make sense. Because, you know, that's where the flying wyverns usually start on this map. Oh no, he might be on the island. Oh no, he is here. I just couldn't see him through the trees. Which are much better here, by the way, than in the first generation jungle, let me tell you. I'm definitely not complaining. Whoa. He's doing the Devil Joe maneuver. Whoa. I never thought about that. Guys, I don't think I've ever hammered an Astalos before, I'm going to be completely honest. I haven't fought the Fated Four very much apart from, I suppose, Mizutsune. I don't believe I've ever hammered an Astalos before, but I will tell you that it seems that I'm not really in position for this, but I will tell you that lightning that comes out of his mouth really does pose a bit of a challenge for a hammer user. Especially if it goes back and forth and then goes straight over the path that I would follow to negotiate the position of the head. Okay, I really need to get in position for this. Oh, good. Astalos is actually helping me out, as long as he doesn't throw off Fritz. You better be careful, Fritz. You're almost... I personally think that he was cutting it close. This should knock him out. Come on, baby. Are you fucking kidding me? How hard is it to fucking KO you, man? Come on, this should do it. No? Well, you've got to be sucking my cock. Figuratively, of course. How many KO hits do you need? You just had a full spinning meteor to the head, about 3 upswings, and a super pound, and you're still not fucking KO'd. I've got Knockout King. What's the point of Knockout King? You fucking asshole. Seriously. Well, he should be very close. I will say that much. Oh, there you go. That's a perfect example of lag compensation. You guys are going, huh? How was he KO'd? You didn't even hit him. That's lag compensation. That's why I say lag compensation might have dealt the KO or it might have dealt the damage. It's because that's exactly how it works. I mean, you guys have probably seen that anyway, but for those who haven't seen it, it sounds a bit silly to say, oh, lag compensation might have done this or that if you haven't seen it before, because it sounds like it almost sounds a little bit like an old wives' tale, you know. But it's true. It's how they do it. Oh, I hate that fucking attack. I have to be careful. Because this is a hyper monster and I have 700 fucking defense. I do very much enjoy the Fated 4. The main reason why I haven't really fought them too much is because I didn't play too much of Generations. I did get to endgame, but Hunter Rank 8 in the first week of the game's release, so I played it really hard. But, yeah, I just stopped after that. I felt like I'd done what I needed to do with the game. It was the first Monster Hunter game that I played on release and just stopped playing. I had 3DS fatigue, I'll tell you that much. I didn't really have issues with the game itself, it's just I was really sick of playing games on the 3DS, and so you can imagine my excitement when I heard that this game was coming out in English. I mean, everyone thought that we wouldn't get it in English because it seemed too good to be true. Something else that would have been too good to be true is that Flash actually making contact. Sadly it did not, but I'm not going to blame him for that. It seemed like a reasonably well-positioned flash bomb. I'm actually going to try to get him into a... I'm going to shock trap him. I don't have to worry about waiting for exhaustion because he's a hyper monster. I just want to get this spinning meteor off. I hate looking at my spinning meteor all all charged up. That's the end of meteor and the beginning of all is strange. Oh, we've got a mount. Well, that's the second best thing to a trap. In fact, it might even be better than a trap because I don't have to waste anything for it. Alright, you're going to turn, there we go. Then you're going to roar, and then you're going to get fucked in the head. You're going to get skull fucked by my Deora hammer. Very good damage, by the way. Meteor 3 on an endgame hammer hitting the head. That's some beautiful damage, ladies and gentlemen. Am I banking on a second KO? Not really. I can live with it without a second KO, but I think I will get one. Because the hunt will go for long enough that I will indeed get the second one off. You're playing your 3DS as you speak. Well, I don't necessarily have anything against the 3DS console, but I do have... I'm sorry, Vitaro. I do have a lot against the 3DS as a Monster Hunter console. It's never been very nice, and the crazy thing is that the reason why I felt that way was because I played on the PSP, and somehow Nintendo managed to make a portable console that was marginally worse for Monster Hunter than the PSP. So, I don't really know what to say other than that. It actually looked worse. If you were playing for Ultimate, it looked like you were swimming through Vaseline. It looked fucking awful. And people don't like to hear that. In the same way people don't like to hear my criticisms of World, people who really loved playing for Ultimate on the 3DS don't like hearing me talk about everything that was wrong with that game on the 3DS console, but unfortunately, it looks like shit. It looked like shit, it played like shit because it's the fucking 3DS, and, you know, it's just a matter of whether or not you can tolerate it. It's not a matter of whether or not it's actually good. That's almost not even up for debate, as far as I'm concerned. It just comes down to how well you can tolerate everything that's wrong with it. And I feel like that's the same thing with World. How much can you tolerate everything that's wrong with it? You know, are you sufficiently compensated by the great graphics of World to the extent that you're not bothered by some of the changes? Well, that's often how it goes. And you know, especially the people who started on the 3DS, a lot of them, they probably don't really see anything wrong. They just learn to get used to what it was, and then I hate that fucking attack. Alright, let's be nice and careful here. I'm having to heal. Oh no, this is very bad. Okay, get out. No. You are not getting comboed today, Doomlink. I'm glad they let me dive there. Oftentimes when you need to dive, they don't let you. I hate that. Well, the funny thing is that I also got the new 3DS XL, and that little fucking nub, that pathetic excuse for a second analog stick substitute, was, quite frankly, the bane of my existence. Because I didn't have the same sort of responsiveness with that directional nub as I would with an analog stick. So I would go from playing, say, 3 Ultimate to 4 Ultimate, and if I wanted to turn the camera, the amount of effort that I would have to put into tilting that fucking nub to get the same sort of responsiveness as an actual second analog stick was intense. It got to the point where I actually ripped that nub in half because I had to dig my thumbnail into it to get it to move properly, because it was actually that way. That was the only way you could get it to move with the same level of responsiveness. It was to dig your thumbnail in to act as leverage, and then you could actually move it well enough. It was fucking ridiculous. Oh, is that a KO? No, just a knockdown. I don't think I got my second KO in the end because I gave up. I was too busy talking and I was like, oh fuck this. You know why I don't use the hammer anymore? It's because it's not a casual's weapon type. It is not a weapon type for a casual, and I'm a casual now. Have been since I stopped playing Tri, so I don't use hammer anymore. I used hammer a lot in Tri, but it was a bit of a different weapon in Tri because of course the strongest attack was the super pound, so it just played a little differently. But yeah, used a lot of hammer in Tri. You don't like the nub? Who doesn't like a control nub that is slippery and doesn't work properly 90% of the time? You have bad opinions. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I can tell you right now, there will be some apologists for the new 3DS XL nub. There are apologists everywhere, and I can tell you there are plenty of them for that fucking thing. I've never had anyone identify themselves as an apologist for the fucking nub, but I can guarantee that they're out there. Well, I feel like I've been getting a lot of spinning meteors. Charging them up a lot. That was a good hunt. Nice work, guys. That was sub 10 on a G-Rank Hyper. I'm always happy when we can get these things killed in less than 10 minutes. Means you've got a good team. Not like a stellar team, but just a fairly good team. Vernon's going Bludgeoner, no doubt, with his Acantor Greatsword, which I do very much enjoy. I did have a Blunt Greatsword set. I think I remade it. I had a really shit one that was not functional, and then I remade it, and I don't think I've used it recently. It's nice. It originally used the fully upgraded Ancient Greatsword, but I don't really like that. I think I prefer the Acantor weapons to the fully upgraded Ancient weapons. They just seem to do better. They get a bit more mileage, you know. You basically have to have Bitter Affinity with the aged weapons, and even then, aged as in ancient, I think they're given the name aged as you upgrade them, but yeah, they just don't seem to be as functional. It's my 7th Astalos Astalos Electro Gem, nearly called it an Elec Gem. I think there is something called Elec Gem somewhere in the series, but anyway, that's my 12th. And more Horns coins. Yay. What is that weird red effect? You guys seeing that? Just on the right side there, top right corner. Don't know what the fuck that is. Well, whatever. It's a bit spooky. Almost 10 minutes clear time, but if it's less than 10 minutes, then I'm a happy camper. Alrighty. Load times are definitely an improvement. I suppose that's the one thing that you can say. You can definitely load a Nintendo 3DS cartridge faster than you can load a UMD. I will not doubt that. But, in fact, I would say the biggest shortcoming of the PlayStation Portable was the fact that they chose to use discs. I mean, really, you had the best excuse to go cartridge-based, but they used discs instead. It was very easy to get those disc trays dirty, although I never had a problem with that. Dread King G2. Well, I guess I didn't say no deviant, so we'll do some Dread King. It's interesting. I mean, I never do Dread King, so it's an enjoyable thing. Let's use Blunt GS. Here we go. This is my new Blunt Greatsword set. Not my original, but it is a new and improved one. High grade earplugs, bludgeoner, attack up small, mind's eye, and focus. Doesn't get much better than that. At least, not as far as I'm concerned. Wonder what your set is. So the difference is that you are not going with raw resistance, which for me is really important for Greatsword. Might not be as important for aerial, I don't really know how it works, but for me, even with the existence of Valor, I need to have raw resistance on a Greatsword, because the thing is, you can't Valor counter whenever you fucking want. You need to set up for it. And if a monster goes in raws, you might be in the middle of a combo and can't Valor counter. Or you might be in a position where you can't Valor counter, so what are you doing? You're sitting there, just not able to attack, and your DPS goes down, so I definitely have a preference for raw resistance no matter what. I don't care if you're Valor or otherwise. You probably don't want to use it with Valor, but I don't go Valor, that's the point. Anyway, I need... What am I missing? I'm missing something. Oh, it's, Mega Dash Juice. Excellent. What is this hunt again? It's Dread King G2, okay. But yeah, I think the fact that Sony really wanted to go disc-based for the PSP is just bizarre to me. I can understand why you might be convinced to go disc-based with a home console versus cartridge-based. Nintendo stuck with cartridges a little longer than other people did. But and again, I think history has shown that cartridges are just better. That's the funny thing. I think there are certain aspects to discs that are superior. You know, you never had to blow on a fucking disc to get it to work, that's the point. That, or if you were to make an argument, I'd say that it'd be one of them, but, Hunting Dread King, I had no idea that he appeared in this area. I guess he starts in 8? But yeah, the idea of going disc-based for a portable handheld system is just, I mean, it's ambitious, we'll put it that way, but cartridge is definitely the way to go. Faster load times, more durable, definitely more durable. I mean, think about how much the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance cartridges got beaten up and still worked perfectly fine. Oh dear. I haven't fought Dread King too many times. He's interesting. I like the patterns on his wings. That's really the major difference between Dread King and something else. Something else. Like Rathalos, yeah. Don't know why I'm being so vague about that. You're already pissing me off. You know that. Well, I have chosen to go Greatsword on a Rathalos. It typically is this way. Okay. Just trying to roll through that tail. Succeeded. Your head is going inside the fucking ground, my friend. Just wanted to hit on the head, but that was a bit risky, wasn't it? The audience agrees. That was risky, Doomlink. Why do I have so many first aid mans? Did I take more than one from the box? Maybe I did. God, I'm a fucking arsehole if I took 2 stacks. Fuck me. But that doesn't seem right. I had 5, not 6, right? So maybe you just get... You wouldn't get 5 in a stack, would you? That seems a bit overkill. Or whatever. Whoa, what the fuck is going on? If I seem to be really confused as to what's happening, it's because I am. I really haven't fought Dread King recently. And the last time I did fight him, it was like the 2nd time ever. So... yeah, I'm just getting used to the changes, I suppose. Of course, Greatsword with Rathalos does require a lot of sitting around and waiting for an opportunity to attack. I mean, it's like that anyway with Greatsword. It's a very opportunistic weapon type in the sense that you can't just go in and attack whenever you want. You have to wait until... oh, that's a fucking big explosion, check that out. But yeah, you have to wait for your opportunity. You can't just create an opportunity or attack no matter what. You have to actually determine a moment in which it's safe to go and stand in one place and charge your weapon. And in the case of a flying wyvern like this that likes to be in the air all the time, unfortunately your opportunities are even fewer in number than, say, a more terrestrial monster. Managed to actually get his wing there. That was a very first-gen maneuver that I just did, an upswing to touch a wing with a greatsword. Or a longsword, for that matter. Well, I shouldn't say that. They were longswords in design, but not literally longswords, so I shouldn't call them longswords. I'm not enjoying you right now, Dread King. I definitely prefer Hyper Rathalos to you. Don't know why. Yeah, the greatsword is definitely the most satisfying weapon type. That's the reason why I use it. Just shielding that in. Oh, did it even explode? Maybe it disappeared or something. I don't know how that works. No idea. Unfamiliar with it. Let's do a drop attack if we can. Good motion value. That's why I do it. It's less for the mounts, more for the damage. At least in this game. Mainly because mounts are a little bit harder to get off here. But Greatsword is a very interesting weapon type in that it can either be extremely frustrating or extremely satisfying, because if you do miss out on a charge with Greatsword, it is, you know, annoying, but it balances itself out because when you do get the charge off successfully, it is satisfying enough to make it, you know, overall an enjoyable experience, unless you really do suck at Greatsword and you're always missing. But most people who start with Greatsword that have never used it before do suck when they first use it. It's not an easy weapon type. You need a lot of patience, you need to really carefully watch the monster. It's a different sort of analysis of the monster than, say, the hammer. With the hammer you're analysing for purposes of hitting the head. Whereas with Greatsword, it's just generally seeing what the monster's doing as far as attacks are concerned. Just to see if it's safe to go. Ooh, let's get the damage off there, very good. So my damage at the moment with this weapon is 434, with 45% affinity. I do not have critical draw on this set because of my 45% affinity. And oh dear, you were so close, Vernon. Couldn't have gotten much closer than that. Yeah, you can see I am getting critical strikes off here. This much damage with this much affinity is almost disgusting, but that's the nature of Bludgeoner, isn't it? Isn't it? Just a Moonbreaker on that face. Yeah, very good. Don't think that was the head that I broke the wing instead. That's funny. Haha. Alright. I thought someone put down a trap. Maybe not. I guess I was imagining that or something. I should get the wing again. Oh dear. There's nothing I could have done there. I was kind of at risk. Oh, well, vulnerable, I should say. Let's get him in here. Oh no, that's not a good place to have it. Right on the trap. Look at that explosion. Not in one place, but in two. That's going a bit far, isn't it? Come on, Rathalos. Getting Rathalos in a trap is not a fun exercise. There we go. I'll aim for the head. It's flailing around a bit, but... I'd say it's worth it. Again, land compensation probably dealt the damage. In all instances. My favourite... I struggle to identify a favourite weapon type because it does depend on whether it's Blade Master or Gunner, so I don't have an overall favourite weapon type. I have favourite weapon types in the ranged and Blade Master category. So my favourite ranged is probably Light Bowgun, although I do have difficulties actually determining which I prefer, either heavy or light. I do very much like bow as well, but I'm more of a bow gunner than a bow user. In the case of Blade Master, Greatsword is probably my favourite. Second favourite, definitely Sword and Shield. So, let's get up there. Right? Ah, good position for paralysis. You can break that fucking head. I can't believe it hasn't been broken yet. It's kind of shocking to me. Yeah, Greatsword became my favourite weapon type quite a while ago. It was a third generation thing. I didn't use Greatsword in second generation. It was a bit too much for me at that time. I was still learning how to play in second gen, so Greatsword was a bit beyond my means. But Sword and Shield was definitely my favourite in third generation. Second being Greatsword, and it's flipped over time. I don't know where he went. I don't know if it was Area 4 or Area 7 or Area 1 or Area... I don't fucking know. Area 4, my first guess, was the direction he went in. Well, might drop a shock trap. Oh, that was a very good flinch. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Vernon. I didn't mean to do this. I had placed it before you had mounted, or at the very least at the exact same time. That's got to really piss you off. Well, you've got video evidence. I wasn't just being a troll. Let's get Brimstone Slash, come on. Damn it, I could have used it in that moment, although I do wonder if I have high-grade earplugs, Brimstone Slash would proc on a raw. That is a question to ask, and I don't know the answer to it. It's always good to do Moonbreaker, it's good damage. That's what it is. I will try to find a good opportunity to do Brimstone Slash. Here we go, this is a good one. Oh no. Maybe not. Come on, baby. Someone want to hit me? Well, I guess I'm just going to whiff this, yeah, check that out. I do sometimes struggle getting Brimstone Slash to connect, particularly with the damage up. Brimstone Slash, how it works is if you are hit by the monster or by a teammate while charging it, you will do extra damage and it'll go off faster as well. Oh dear. This is a why is it taking longer to kill a Dread King G2 than a Hyper Astalos? Can someone fucking tell me why that might be the case? Because this is weird shit. I mean, maybe we're just not performing as well, maybe my loadout isn't as good as it was before, or maybe my overall damage isn't as good, but I feel like this thing should be dead by now. I really don't, for even a moment, believe that a G2 Dread King is stronger than a Hyper Astalos at G rank level. I don't believe it for a second. So, something's different with us, most definitely. Oh. Just hit my teammates there. Give you an invulnerability for that fire if you're going to get hit by it. barely see what's going on. Alright, we're sitting on even more damage now. It is 454. Which you'd think would be just off the fucking charts, but really, sharpness does play a big part on your overall damage. So it's not as ridiculous as you would think. That is to say, sharpness multipliers do have a huge effect on your damage. No. Not able to get that head for the best damage, but it's alright. Come on, die, you fucking nuisance creature. There we go. Vernon is eternally failing his mounts because of the situation. Either I'm trapping, or the monster's dead before he can mount, or he's getting thrown off. Ugh. All I could do is apologize, really. Alright. I really don't have much Dread King stuff. I'm serious, I don't think I've really fought much Dread King at all. I'm actually going to check right now. What are you pinging for? Oh, shiny? Thank you for the ping. Oh, that's Monster Resonance, so it wasn't from Dread King. Okay, where are you? If I find Rathalos, I should find Dread King. Where might ye be? Dread King, here we go. Oh, 7? That's definitely more than I was expecting. 7? Are you fucking sure? Okay, if you say so. 7? Again, I thought that was like my 3rd. 7. Well, okay. Maybe I was completely, you know, not paying attention when I was fighting him in the previous instances. I've got no idea, but I certainly didn't learn how to fight him. We'll put it that way. God's Isle. God's Isle? Guys, it took me 800 hours to get that. Seriously. I wanted God's Isle. I wanted to make that status set for Brachydios runs. Oh, that was a Gold Crown Large. I wanted to make the Brachydios set. Not literally the Brachydios set, but the set for the Charm runs. And I couldn't, because I didn't have God's Isle. I finally got it. And I still don't know why I never picked it up in this game. It's the only game where I've had to wait this long to get God's Isle. In every single game, even in fact, one of the first things that I appraised in Monster Hunter Freedom was that weapon. It's kind of funny. But at least I finally got it. Alright, we doing Elatrion again? Oh no. Oh, yes. Vernon did say that he wasn't looking forward to fighting the last monster for his armor piece. You know what? Neither am I. Hyper Silver Rathalos is one of my least favourite monsters in the series, alongside Hyper Gold Raytheon. They are not fun hunts, and you know what I do every time I fight them? I go Heavy Pierce with Evade Extender. Every fucking time, without fail. It's the only way I'll fight them. It's the only... Like, I will refuse to fight them, basically. If I'm forced to use something different, I will refuse to fight them, so... But I would never be forced to use something different, so... Usually I will not turn down a Hyper Silver Rathalos or Hyper Gold Raytheon quest. I just use the same thing every time. This is the safest way for me. And, Vernon's got a similar idea. I think Moxie might be the way to go. Unless I can get Exchanger. Yeah, let's go Moxie. Wherever I saw that. It was the first one, wasn't it? No? Fuck me, go up here. Or was it Defense? Where did I see it? I saw it like here. Am I blind? I saw it, I know I did. What the fuck is going on? I saw it, and you saw it too, I know you did. But it's disappeared, I swear it was on Attack Oblige. Well, fine. Maybe, oh here we go, here's Moxie. I don't think that was the same one though. Whatever. Oh, Crimson Fatalis is the last monster, my nemesis, as of the last recording. Fucking hell. Oh well. To be honest, I'd rather fight Crimson Fatalis than this monster, I will say that. I'll probably go light pierce on Hyper Silver Rathalos. My phone's vibrating because of Discord messages. Okay, what am I doing with myself? You know what would really help? You know what would really help? This might be a novel concept to you guys, but buying ammo might help. When you're going bowgun against any monster, it helps to buy ammunition for yourself. I have not done that today. I have 5 Pierce level 2, 60 Pierce level 1, and some Thunder S level 2, which isn't terrible. I mean, I've got some normal shots to shoot. The point is, I'm just not going to be doing as much damage as I could be in this hunt. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. Certainly, internal ammunition in this game has, not just for me, but for many people, made life easier when forgetting to buy ammo, because internal ammo is something that will always be there. Potatoes basically decided that the best black dragon is World Fatalis. Well, if you say so. If you say so. Don't know how I managed to lose that much fucking health with that burning effect, but that was pretty nasty. Pretty fucking nasty. I'm not going to heal all the way up. Might be a bad idea. I mean, I do have Moxie, so I should be fine, but the key with this monster is to not get hit, which is usually something that I can achieve, but with this set, that is. That's why I use it. I don't evade through anything, I just evade away. It's usually good enough. Although gunpowder infusion does increase the risk a little bit, because you are stuck in one place for a long time while using it. Gunpowder infusion is one of those things that you have to be careful with. No, not another one. Fucking hell. Had I not been ready to roll in that moment, like watching to see what he was going to do, I would have been hit by that. Again, the head of the Silver Rathalos is not a weakness, like it's not a weak point, that is, but it is important to break it so that you get better drops. Same with the Gold Wraith. Oh, I always forget to bring coatings for mine though. Not in this game for some reason, but in other games, yeah, all the time. Like Portable Third and Freedom Unite, I'm always forgetting to bring fucking coatings, and it's not good. It's usually when I'm recording though, because I'm distracted by other things. If I'm just hunting by myself, usually I'm not thinking about things other than preparing for the quest, but if I am sort of distracted, then yeah, sometimes I do forget, because it ends up being the case that instead of actually allocating thought to preparation, my subconscious is in control entirely, and it's just one of those things. Whoa, ho, 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 look at the fucking range of that. He shot that real far. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Yeah, a Silver Rathalos, particularly the Hyper one, mainly the Hyper one, is not to be fucked around with. If you get overconfident with him or become complacent, he will sit you right down. He's one of the hardest monsters in the entire series, without a fucking doubt. The way he moves, the way he, like shit, purely by virtue of the fact that he can do that much damage yet move like that, he is absolutely just fucking relentless. Absolutely fucking relentless. Alright, moving on to Thunder level 2. Flame level 2 of course won't do anything really, but maybe for tail I guess. I don't know how it is for element, but leaving already, are you? I guess that means we're instilling fear in him. If that makes you feel any better about yourself. Which it has. I never solo hunt anymore. The only games that I solo hunted in really were Freedom Unite and Portable Third. Just because in the old days of Ad Hoc Party it was so fucking difficult to get into an online game, or at least a smooth online game. So really, I did not find myself going online quite as much as I was soloing things. I would often check to see what was happening in Ad Hoc Party when I got on, and if there were just no real good rooms, or just no rooms at all, then I'd go and solo, so I found myself soloing quite often. This is back in 2009, 2010. So, yeah, those are really the only games that I soloed. When Tri came out, I became very spoiled. I couldn't go back. Integrated online. In other words, the convenience to just hunt online whenever you wanted with a group of people really just spoiled me, so... it sort of changed the way I played Monster Hunter. I get a lot more enjoyment out of playing with the group now. That's why you will never see me do solo recordings of Monster Hunter, is because I don't enjoy it much anymore. We did very well. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a fast hunt. For a Hyper Silver Rathlos, that was very good. I'm very happy with this team. No deaths, very quick hunt. That was impressive. And I wasn't even doing maximum damage. You have to understand that rather than shooting Pierce level 3, I was shooting a tiny bit of Pierce level 2, and then just Pierce level 1. So that was a very, very well done quest. I'm very happy with that. What are you pinging for? Last time I thought you were pinging for a shiny, but I don't think you are this time. He's just pinging for fun, I guess. I'm gonna Void Piercer a Jagia. Get ready. Oh, that's funny. That's the first time I've done that. Oh, one person died. Oh well. That's not too bad. Really, I actually don't pay attention when teammates die. It doesn't bother me. It bothers me so little that I don't even pay attention to it. So... if anyone ever gets the impression that I am critical of my teammates... Whoa! Yeah, remember when I said that breaking the head is a good thing? Anyway, if anyone gets the impression that I'm too critical of my teammates, then it's the incorrect impression. Sometimes, like, I will, just for the sake of conversation, comment on people's loadouts, for instance, but I really don't care what my teammates do. As long as they don't fuck up my play, or die 3 times, I'm pretty easy. I don't care. Okay, so now we've got 8 mantles. There you go. 2-in-1 quest is not a bad acquisition. Not bad at all. You don't know how people can solo old Monster Hunter with no Palico? Well... you just have to grit your teeth and really try hard. That's really the only way to do it. You should go solo some first generation Monster Hunter sometime. It's a rather invigorating experience, and I'll guarantee that you will be a better hunter for it. It's just, it's almost a spiritual experience. No, I'm definitely not sweaty when it comes to Monster Hunter. Fortunately. Aside from the double cart to Elatrion, no, I'm not sweaty. What I mean to say is that shouldn't contribute to your perception that I'm easygoing. I do generally play well, I don't put effort into it, because I'm past that point. For 2,300 hours I played Tri like I was playing for money. Which is usually what I say to denigrate those who put too much effort into playing games in general. I usually say, wow, you play like you're playing for money, mate. That's one of my catchphrases, but I used to play like that in Tri. And after that, I was done. I had my fun. You solo Generation 1 Monster Hunter by being suicidal. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, no, if you are legitimately suicidal and you solo it... What are you doing, Vitaro? You gonna go? Player 3, come on, man. Yeah. Thanks, Vernon. I was about to say that myself. I don't know why this guy needs a written invitation. He's been here from the beginning. Ashy is the one who joined later. Maybe he's confused because I got skipped. That's probably what it is. So I guess I shouldn't blame him too much. But he shouldn't be too confused. I'm hunter rank 700. If you're hunter rank 700 and you're still doing turns rooms, something's wrong, because it means you haven't realized that turns rooms are actually fucking terrible for getting anything done. And if you've gone through this much of the game without realizing it, didn't know if I said that or it, but if you've gone through that much of the game without realizing it, it's pretty embarrassing. Pretty embarrassing. That's very interesting to hear, Potato. He says, when I got World, I thought I would have the same online experience as Tri, since Tri was the only other Monster Hunter game I played at that point. I was disappointed. I couldn't think of a more diametrically opposite online experience to Tri than World. World is so... it's frigid. There is no intimacy at all in World. It is instant gratification, SOS, get the hunt done, no communication, it's dead. Emotionless, shallow, hollow. That is what the World Online experience is. I was kind of hoping for something along the lines of Tri as well, you know. It was going to be a PS4, well, let's say AAA console-based Monster Hunter game. I was expecting good communication, but I came to realize that good communication means nothing if the community has no desire to communicate. And the SOS system definitely exacerbated the situation. I'm sure the community had issues anyway, but SOS only made it worse. There was no communication, there was no community. It was pathetic. Not that I expected the community to be good, because it wasn't the Monster Hunter community anymore, it was the mainstream gaming community that wanted to give Monster Hunter a try. That's what the World community was, which is not going to be good, because if you know anything about the mainstream gaming community, they're a bunch of complete fucking idiots. I'm sorry, but they are. If you disagree, then we can agree to disagree on that one, but they're a bunch of complete fucking idiots. And a bunch of complete fucking idiots entered the community of World. If you don't believe me, then look at some of the reviews of World back when it first came out, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, I didn't have much confidence in the community, but I did have confidence in my ability to communicate. But yeah, there was no communication, it's just what it was. Nothing over text, nothing over voice, it was just hunt the monster and then go. That's what it was. Yes, Rise does have lobby-based matchmaking from what I can tell. I mean, I guess that's been confirmed, but I assume that to be the case because I heard that SOS was not returning. So, yeah. World was definitely an opportunity for everyone else to see how good the Japanese are at Monster Hunter, because the Japanese have always been in a server of their own, always. I didn't buy flaming shots, but I can live with that. Twice in a row I have failed to purchase ammunition for myself. It just so happens that this particular armor set is very internal ammo heavy. But, yeah, the Japanese were always confined to their own personal server. They never mixed with anyone else. Until World. And so for a lot of people, that was their first opportunity to see how good the Japanese actually were. And they're fucking good. They're just good at games, but of course they're good at Monster Hunter because most of them have played for a long time. Certainly longer than the vast majority of your average... Vast majority of your average? Certainly, more than your average World player. Alright, going Pierce Flame level 2. What the... Okay, guys, we all saw that. We all saw that. That was lag. I'm pretty sure I would have cleared that. And Soldiers Queen not lagged, didn't they? Honestly. Yeah, I think I heard that they replaced it with something similar to SOS, as long as it's not the same. I mean, the reason why it's good that they have replaced it with something different is because they've obviously identified a problem with the SOS system. If they didn't identify a problem with the SOS system, then it means that that's another strike against Capcom. But the fact that they've identified there to be a problem with it means that I have faith in the alternative that they've proposed. At least for now. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, fuck off, Celtas. You're a nuisance. Yeah, I didn't look. The concept of SOS, I was open to it initially. Absolutely open to it. I thought it would be fun, it would be interesting and new. But then I realized that in practice, it's awful and it does nothing in reality but ruin the Monster Hunter experience. And I think Capcom realized that too. I think it would be impossible not to realize that. If they actually saw how the online community of a Monster Hunter game changed based on the SOS system, they would have no other conclusion to come to. So that's the reason why they're doing something different to the SOS system here. It's absolute. I mean, it was great that they had an SOS system for World in the sense that that's exactly what the mainstream gamers need. They need instant gratification. That's one of the reasons why World was designed in the way that it was. Instant gratification. When you play World, it feels like you're doing the right thing no matter what because of how it's designed. In traditional Monster Hunter, you're supposed to feel like everything you do is just the wrong thing because it teaches you, first and foremost, that you are in fact doing the wrong thing and that you need to change how you play. And that's how you get good at Monster Hunter. In World, it's not really like that. They basically hold your hand, jerk you off, wipe your ass, until you eventually, at Hunter Rank 200, learn how to play the game. Just purely by the community maybe shouting you out of every fucking SOS hunt because you suck. That's the sort of experience that World offered. And that was purely a product of it being a mainstream-focused Monster Hunter game. A streamlined, you know, shell of a Monster Hunter game that everyone liked because it looked pretty. That's really what it came down to. Pretty animations, looked pretty, and everyone got wet. The end. So, that's the story of World, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm saying is the SOS system was, you know, perfectly suited to that kind of game, but fortunately Capcom have realized that there's a little bit more to it than catering to the your average mainstream gamer. But it definitely is important for Capcom at this stage to, at the very least, be accepting of the fact that your average gamer doesn't want to beat themselves over the head with a blunt object just to learn how to play a game. That's what made Monster Hunter a beautiful thing in the past, because you'd go from playing this very rigid and uncomfortable game to playing it in the utmost comfort because you've just learned how to do it. You know, that's very, very satisfying. Instead, you know, they changed it so that as soon as you come into the game, it feels like everything's good and you're doing the right thing and it feels fun. They're staying with that. They're not returning to the way it used to be in that regard. Because for them that would be a step backwards. Not for me, that would be a step forwards in the right direction. Because then there would be some meaning behind playing the game properly. But, it is what it is. You can only join a player that's in your current lobby, unlike in World where you can join players not in your lobby. Okay. Well, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. So basically it's, you can just join quests in progress. So basically it's not a... Hello? Okay. It's not an SOS system. It's just it's the ability to join quests in progress, which is very different to the SOS system. What made the SOS system what it was not being able to join quests in progress. It was about finding, okay, let's say for instance, you've got a group of monsters that you need to fight for something in particular. Let's say a weapon. I want to hunt Lunastra. You go into that SOS system, you look for Lunastra quests, and you're straight in a Lunastra quest. Barrier to getting into a Lunastra quest completely removed. That's it. You're going straight in there, instant gratification, you get what you need. Done. Wasn't always like that, because maybe someone wasn't doing a Lunastra quest, but you know, you'd choose a different monster, something else that you might need to hunt. That's what the SOS system was about. It was that instant gratification. It's not about joining the quest in progress. It was all about that level of convenience. So therefore the SOS system is dead, as far as I'm concerned. The only remnant of that system is the ability to join quests in progress. And that's really the smallest part of the system, really. Words to live by, trash. I guess we're killing Soltus. I can't believe this fucking Solus Queen isn't dead. Like, this is a lower level Hyper. We killed Hyper Silver fucking Rathalos in like 7 minutes. But apparently we can't kill Solus Queen in under 10. How that makes any fucking sense, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, some people are just, they're wired to not appreciate world. I'm one of those people. And there are others who just, they can't even comprehend how a person could dislike world. And let me say that there will come a time in the future where I return to base world and play it on this channel. There will come a time. But I'm going to wait until it's been many, many, many years so that I can actually get something good out of it. And you know what that's going to be? That's going to be nostalgia. I'm going to be reveling in the nostalgia of base world. It'll take me back to the year of 2018, and it'll be fun. It'll be a good experience. That's the best experience I can get out of world as a game. It's getting nostalgia for a particular time in my life. And that's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't know how I'm going to achieve that, because I'll tell you one thing. I'm not doing anything relating to Iceborne or Clutchclaw or anything like that. Just base world, that's all I'm looking for. But that will be in the future. In other words, world doesn't totally disgust me in and of itself. It's the direction of the Monster Hunter series that disgusts me. And then it's the fact that no one gives a damn. That's what I take issue with. The game in and of itself isn't terrible. It's all the implications of having a game that's like this, becoming the new Monster Hunter series, and then people like me are just left behind as relics of a previous series that has just evolved into something totally different. All of what made it special is just slowly drained away as time passes. Capcom can get away with draining more and more, I guess, special aspects of Monster Hunter as time passes, because more and more generations will start in 5th gen, as in generations of players will start in 5th gen, and then their concept of what makes a game a Monster Hunter game will be less refined, and so in other words it's just doomed to continue going in a negative direction. But it won't be that way. I thought that it would be that way prior to any news of Rise, but once Rise hit the scene and Capcom made it clear that they were not looking to go real hard in the world direction, they realized that they went too far in one direction, so now they're trying to strike a balance between world and traditional Monster Hunter, which is the right approach. I'm not going to ask Capcom to completely go back to traditional Monster Hunter, because not only is it an unrealistic request, but it's just not going to happen. It will not happen because they've had too much financial success from catering to your average gamer. But the fact that they have chosen to strike a balance between world and traditional Monster Hunter shows that they have identified that they went too far. They have identified that it's worth trying to lock into what made Monster Hunter special in the traditional sense. So, yeah. I haven't talked about World like that in a while. It's been a few months. Maybe about a year. Since I last went in depth about World, but that's my current perspective. Every now and again I'll go into it. I'm doing it for the benefit of Trash, really. Because he seems like a pretty serious viewer. I do love it when I pick up new viewers who really seem to enjoy what I do, so I'm doing it for him, really. But it is an opportunity for people who have watched me for longer to get an update on my opinions, which aren't entirely different, but they are different now in the sense that I do have Rise to offer a context, or not a context, but rather it offers a perspective as to where Capcom's head is at and what they're going to do in the future. Because a lot of my concerns about World were based in uncertainty. What are they going to do with the series now that World has done this well? We have our answer. They're not going to go hard in that direction, they're going to try and treat it sensibly. And I'm glad that they've done that. That's not to say that I'm going to enjoy Rise, I might not, but Ethan has a lot of faith in it. And you know what? I think it might be good. What do you mean, Potato? He's saying it's exactly like World's SOS. Oh, fuck off. How could it be exactly like that? Everyone's been saying that it's different. Shit. Do I have a better insect glaive? Remember when I said that I cannot truly make a determination on whether or not I will enjoy Rise until I play the full game, because there will be factors at play in the full game that will make or break the whole situation for me. If they were to bring back the SOS system in the same way that it was in World, or at the very least so similar that you may as well just not even call it something different, then that would break it for me. That would be the end. That would not only be the end of Rise, that would probably be the end of modern Monster Hunter for me. I'm serious about that. That, in conjunction with a terrible skill system that is also in the same vein of World, where skills are no longer point-based, but instead individual armor-based. In other words, an ultra simplified and streamlined version of what it traditionally was, then yeah, it's over. You can join players in other lobbies. Well, Capcom can't fucking help themselves. Look, at this point, you've swung me in the complete opposite direction, Potato. I was getting really impressed with Capcom for identifying that there was something wrong with the World SOS system, but what you're describing to me now would suggest that they haven't identified that. They've decided, and if they have identified it, they don't give a shit, because it's exactly what they need to appeal to a certain group of people, obviously. They don't see what it's done wrong for the community. I mean, you have to understand that that is really the crux of the problem with the World community. It is the SOS system, because you don't need to interact with a group anymore. You technically do for a single quest, but if you're just going to be in one quest with one group of people for 8 minutes and then you never see them again, why would you communicate with them? And if you do communicate with them, it's on the most basic of levels, because, you know, you don't even know the people. You don't get to know anyone, it's not an experience. And of course, when the SOS system exists, what inevitably happens? I mean, people will argue by saying, well, you always did have a lobby system, Doomlink. Well, that's true, but if you have an SOS system, then it means no one uses the lobby system. That's how it is. Do you guys remember how it was back when World first came out? The, what was it called again? Was it Astera? The top part of the hub area? Nobody used it. The only time anyone used it was when Capcom went out of their way, almost getting on their hands and knees begging people to go there. Because there was no reason to go there. It was where you would engage with the lobby system part of World. No one cared about it, because why would you? They had the SOS system. It's exactly what they did. They revealed a 24-second video of it without much context. Well, it might be something that I have to wait to make a determination on when the game comes out. But, and Potato just linked it to me on a Twitter video. I won't look at it. Oh, okay, I will look at it now. I don't know if I can show it to you on the stream. I probably won't. I'll probably just look at it here and then react to it. But, yeah. If they have managed to bring it back in almost the same way it was in World, then it means they have also managed to completely miss the fucking point of why World had shortcomings. A lot of it, as I say, is founded in the SOS system. Not all of it, I can assure you. I could spend 5 hours talking about everything that's wrong with World, because there are so many aspects to World that are just fundamentally a step backwards for the series. But the SOS system is a big part of it, because, again, the way you interact with the community is a huge part of what allows you to enjoy an online game. And I consider Monster Hunter to be an online game series. That's how I've treated it. Returning back to my previous explanations as to how I enjoy playing Monster Hunter, once I played online Monster Hunter, I realized that it was a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable. There were more variables at play as compared to solo hunts, so I treat Monster Hunter as practically a multiplayer game. And therefore, the way you interact with people online is extremely important to me. And if you have a game like World that basically, it completely removes any reason to properly communicate with people, because it's all just instant gratification, blah blah, I go fight exactly the monster that I want to fight right now, get into a group with random people and then never talk to them again. That's it. It's gone, it's over. You don't have a good online system anymore, you have a fucking, you know, a mess, really. You have a joke, you have a hollow system that is nothing like Monster Hunter, and let's make it very clear that the reason why this is all an issue is because we have a system to compare this to. We have traditional Monster Hunter, which was basically a piece of perfection in 3rd and 4th generation. Not in every regard, but certainly in terms of the community interaction. But here they want to fucking ruin it. It's going to become the case that, inevitably, 3 Ultimate is going to be the best online experience of any Monster Hunter game you can have. Which is fucking crazy, but it's starting to look that way. If you think about it, Monster Hunter has been built on being multiplayer. Weren't they planning on the original being strictly multiplayer? I actually don't know. It's possible. Might have been too ambitious for the PlayStation 2, so they didn't really do that, but definitely multiplayer has been an integral part of Monster Hunter from the beginning. Monster Hunter 1 was multiplayer, Monster Hunter G was multiplayer, Monster Hunter 2 was multiplayer. So, you know, from the very beginning of Monster Hunter, in the early days, multiplayer was a big part of it. So, really, to just walk away from a system that would allow people to interact meaningfully is to really detract from a major aspect of the series. For the benefit of the mindless people who, 1, require instant gratification, 2, do not value the traditional system of Monster Hunter multiplayer because they never played a traditional Monster Hunter game and will probably never play a traditional Monster Hunter game because they only care about the most recent game release because they are mindless idiots. Okay? So, you know, who are you catering to? I guess the people with the money. Thanks, Capcom. I don't want to... I feel like I'm sort of overstepping what I should be doing here, or at the very least, I'm being a bit premature with my judgments because I don't know for sure what's happening with this new system. But if it is as Potato suggests, and it is basically the World SOS system, I'm going to watch the video right now. I'm going to watch it right now. I'm going to see what it looks like. Pulling it up on my laptop so you can, you know, I'm not looking over there or anything. Twitter video, what have we got? 24 seconds. Send a join. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, so far we've got a menu system, which is, we've got join request as an option. This person is sending a join request to whom? Join request is now active. Oh, hold on, quest board, hub quest, slow rank, expedition tour. What is join request? Invite other players to join. So it's the same as the flare system, so join request is now the flare system. The other way around. The flare system is now join request. And then if you're a person who is not in the hunt, what do you do to join it? Respond to, okay, you go to a separate thing called respond to join request. So the SOS system is now called respond to join request. And then you can go to a list of quests that have people requesting for, oh my god, locale, time limit. Select a quest to join via request. It's the same. I don't see how it could be different. I'm sure there will be some little insignificant, in my opinion, difference between this and the SOS system, but it is fundamentally the same, and it is going to cause problems in the exact same way the SOS system caused problems. It's clear to me. I can't believe it, really. Alright, let's do Crimson, let's do it. Oh man. Just to be nice and careful, I will go Adept Pierce. Because we need revenge. It's not about proving a point, it's just about getting it done. Adept. There we go. So yeah, I'm really disappointed with that, and I will tell you that that is one way that they could potentially ruin the game for me. For world players, no one's going to care, because it's just a system that they're familiar with. They might not care, they might not know or care what it was like to play Monster Hunter prior to the introduction of a system of that kind, so therefore they will just play it, not even question it, and then what sort of feedback does Capcom get at that point? That's always one question to ask. What is Capcom's feedback? If no one cares about how things used to be, then how are they going to get sensible feedback as to whether or not they are continuing in the right direction? That is the problem, inevitably, when you move into a new demographic of players. Because the new people don't care how it used to be. They don't care. And because they don't care, they won't play the older games, and because they don't play the older games, they will not have a point of reference to determine whether Capcom is moving in the right direction or not. Welcome to Modern Monster Hunter. The conundrum that only a select few people who give a shit have to deal with, like myself. The conundrum. You don't have much faith in Vitaro? Okay. I don't know how I feel about him either. I mean, to be honest, I haven't been paying attention to how the team has been performing, so I don't know how he is as a player. I don't know if he's been dying, I don't know if he's... I haven't even checked his set. What's he using? Vitaro. I need to make sure I get Demon Affinity on the go first. Vitaro is using full Glavenus. Oh no, yeah, I can see your concerns. He's got full Glavenus G rank with the Lao Shan Lung Greatsword, which means he's just using a generic G rank loadout instead of something tailored to the hunt, which means that he hasn't played enough of the game to really have much choice of loadout, which is always a little bit problematic when you're facing one of the endgame monsters. So, anyway. Playing with other players felt like playing with NPCs because nobody communicates. That's exactly right. But you know, Potato, you have to understand that just you saying that is more than what most people would even identify to be a problem. So many people wouldn't even consider that to be a problem. You can identify that as an issue because I'm here talking about it, and you've also played the older game, so you can see what it's like. You can actually experience the difference. And it's sad how things have changed for the worse. But what really makes things sadder is when no one seems to care. How about all the people who take no issue whatsoever with Clutchclaw? How about all those people? What hope is there for the series if many people don't even notice the problems with Clutchclaw? Oh, that's nasty. That's a welcome, Vernon, to what killed me last time. It's terrible, it really is terrible. Just aiming for the head with slicing just to start off with. My DPS is not good, I will be the first to admit that. But, yeah, you guys know that I don't often take time to talk about World, but today's the day apparently. And, yeah, there are some toxic players. Trash, I missed your comment somehow. I guess I'm trying to read the chat while playing. But yeah, toxic players you only really find at the high levels. Let me tell you, they exist. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings. There are some extremely unpleasant, toxic, shitty people with really bad tendencies as Monster Hunter players. They do exist, but they're usually at the higher ranks. Not so much in this game. In this game, everyone's very laid back. No one really cares. In 4 Ultimate, that was the last game, 4 Ultimate, where you really found very, very unpleasant people in the high ranks. Maybe it's a bit of a different community, I don't know. I would say this community is very simple and probably more along the lines of simple-minded, but the benefit to that is, for the most part, you don't run into actual idiots. In terms of, you know, someone who's going to kick you from a room because you don't have an absolutely perfect loadout. We're not talking about, you know, having the totally wrong kind of defense for a monster, so therefore you get kicked, or you're using an element that the monster's not even weak to, so you get kicked. We're talking, you know, you've got one skill less than what you maybe should have, so you get kicked. That's what it used to be like. People who had no regard for the online experience of other people and were so focused on being absolutely perfectly min-maxed, and yeah, well, this is already not looking like a good hunt. If we're already 2 deaths out of 3 in there, I don't think there's too much that we can hope for here in the way of victory. But, yeah, I will tell you that they exist. Maybe not so much anymore, but even in 4th generation they do exist. Kingdom Hearts is finally coming to PC. Is it now? That is a funny thought. Look, if more games come to PC, then I'm a happy camper. Because, in my opinion, PC is the way of the future. The more we rely on consoles, the more we have to deal with, honestly, gaming in general being prevented from evolving in the way that it should. I understand why people, you know, it's like mobile phones. I've talked about this before. A mobile phone has more uses to it now than it used to in the past. People need to treat they need to treat their computers in the same way. They need to treat their computers as a means of navigating the internet and doing whatever they would do with the computer normally, but they also need to get used to treating it as a gaming machine, because it's a great thing to use as a gaming machine. To have a separate, dedicated gaming machine is just unnecessary. There are more uses to a PC than that, than just checking, you know, browsing the internet, watching videos. You should be playing your games on it too. And your couch gaming experience is not dead because of PC, I can tell you that much. You just need a little bit of creativity. I do understand the people who play a lot of video games and are very much swayed by exclusive titles on the part of Sony and Microsoft, but I guess I struggle to connect with those people. Oh yeah, and you know what? Fair enough, Vernon, that was ridiculous. The fact that he roared that many times in a row, I don't blame you for failing that one. Mobile Gaming Master Race, yeah, exactly. Sadly, there are a lot of them. But I certainly didn't mean that, you know, we should be using mobile phones as our gaming machines. That is not a good way forward. As we all know. As we all know. Hey. Can finally get some good DPS soon. Call of Duty Mobile is the best game ever made, says Potato. 3 quests in a row, I have failed to purchase ammunition. That's how you know I'm really, really focused on talking. I'm stuck with normal shots now. I love how I only just now noticed too. I'm so fucking distracted now. So fucking distracted. It's just annoying because, you know, I could have turned up here with a fucking normal gun and dealt more damage, but no. Of course not. I'll shoot the back legs here just to get the increased damage of this evasion. I guess that's true, that's very true, Trash. Yeah. You know what? That's probably what they'd do. That's probably what Microsoft and Sony would do. But the question is, would it be worse than what's currently happening with consoles? I don't think so. I mean, yeah, that would be pretty bad, but I don't think that would be so much worse than having to buy a console for exclusive titles. If you really think about it. It would change the landscape of PC gaming, without a doubt, but I think it's a necessary change. Things have to evolve, and sometimes they can devolve in certain regards and evolve in others, but I think it is for the greater good. That PC becomes the platform of the future. In other words, I personally think that console gaming should end at Nintendo, and I don't really want Nintendo to have the absolute... well, I don't want them to have a monopoly over physical consoles, but the thing is, like, they are never going to move away from physical consoles. They do not have... They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't move to PC. Can you imagine Nintendo moving to PC? No way. They just wouldn't do it. So I think we can all agree that that won't happen. So therefore, I personally think that you shouldn't be buying a console unless you're doing something Nintendo related. That's what I think. And let's be honest. Sony and Microsoft do not really have any impact on Nintendo in the console space. It's not like we should be worried about a console monopoly if Nintendo are the only people using or making consoles, because it's a different market entirely. Different games, different... well, not in every case. Some games do make their way to Switch as well, but for the most part, people who buy Nintendo consoles buy them for different reasons, to play different sorts of games. Wow. I pressed B to evade at the exact same time, but sadly it was just slightly too late, but I did not get killed. So I'm very happy with my defense for this answer. Very happy. That's what emulators are for. Nintendo on PC. This is true. How I managed to, again, find myself in a Crimson Fatalis hunt unprepared is beyond me, but that's what happens when you're too focused on conversations. Are those wings broken? I think they are. They're looking a bit broken to me. They just don't really look too healthy, they look a bit stripped. We're doing alright. I mean, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that we're doing alright, but my point is that I really thought that we were not too far from failing on the basis of how quickly we had 2 deaths in the team, but everyone is just pitching in, working real hard. In fact, this has been a really solid turns room. I mean, everyone's been here for a while. We're all working hard to get each quest completed, and for the most part, it's a good team. I mean, we've proven ourselves to do well thus far. And if we can get this Crimson Hunt taken care of, we will have well and truly done pretty damn well. Just did a hip fire shot there so I could take that opportunity as it came. I do not find myself going normal a light bow gun with Fatalis very often. I've done it begrudgingly, and I haven't really had a choice in the matter. And I regret to say that I have not used an appropriate armor set for it, but yeah. And be very careful, everyone. Got a tail coming on through. Okay, life powder time, life powder time. Ooh! I'm not going to get so close to those fireballs and I'm going to let them hurt. Yeah, I think Nintendo has definitely earned their place in the gaming market. I mean, people will take issue with Nintendo all day, and I'll be among those people who take issue with it. Really? I thought that I'd successfully rolled that. Oh well. I don't know. You guys know that I have a depth, and you saw that I rolled there, but just didn't quite clinch it. I'm okay with that. I'm disappointed that we failed, but I'm okay with that death as well, because those explosions are they're almost unpredictable, you know. They're in a line, they occur with a delay alongside the attack of the Fatalis that sort of creates the blast cloud, ashy left, throwing a bit of a mini tantrum there. I apologise, Vernon, that we couldn't get that completed so that you could actually get what you need, you know. You're not just doing Crimson for fun, you need something. But, for what it's worth, I did what I could with my ammunition. What's annoying is we might have actually killed it had I brought ammunition for that fucking quest, but I did not. So, I'm pretty fucking annoyed by that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Crimson Fatalis. He is probably my least favourite Fatalis monster. Going all the way back to first gen. He's a fucking dickhead. Alright, I've actually got ammunition now, but I don't really want to do that quest again. Fucking hell. Anyway. You know what? Let's get this. Let's knock this one on the head, Vernon. Let's go and make a Crimson Room. Because I've got a fucking vendetta. We need to kill this guy. I'm going to use the same loadout, but I'm actually going to bring fucking ammunition this time, and we're going to get a good team together. Where is Fatalis? Oh, oh no, I was just there. I just found it. There it is. I'm going to put the hunt rank minimum to 100. Let's do it, guys. Let's get this Crimson killed. Alright. I'm going to make sure I eat appropriately for the quest. While I'm thinking of doing these things, we need to do them. Defense, Defender High, Moxie. Moxie is definitely more important than Defender High for what I have, for the reason that I have really good defense. So Defender High is not as important as Moxie. What we want is to survive attacks that really, really shit on my health. So, there we go. Actually, you can host one. But, I'll be back in just a moment, going to the bathroom. I'm back. I've got another person here. Xiao Daji. Right, yeah. What's his loadout? Similar to mine. How's it going? Adept? Yeah. I can relate. I can relate. It is the safest way to go. Catch you later, potato. But yeah, I was careful to set the hunter rank requirement to something high so that we didn't have to deal with any. Well, I don't think Vitaro ended up being bad. Just in case he was bad, I wasn't even paying attention. But even after I said that I wasn't paying attention, I continued to not pay attention, and I don't really have a read on Vitaro. So yeah, but we don't want low-level people. In other words, what have we got here? 931. Good fire res, which is what's important, and very good defense. Sharpness +1, weakness exploit, critical boost, challenger +1. He's decently well equipped for this fight. Certainly defense-wise, and that might be what's most important. So, are we properly decked out for this hunt? That's the question. I think so. We're good to go. We've got Combiner High and Moxie. Not really going to be doing any combinations, but, you know. I think we're ready to go. Let's do it, guys. Let's kill this fucking monster. I've failed him twice recently. Can't let this happen again. The end is nigh, which is really not a great name for it. Alright, I'm gonna organize myself here. And Demon Affinity. Okay. Hope everyone's ready to go. I hope Xiao Daji is here. Yeah, he is. He's gonna load Demon Affinity as well, I think. Go for it. Yeah. Very good. You know what, I'm going to save my slicing for later, because slicing, while it is very effective, is kind of low DPS. I'm going to focus on high DPS for now, especially considering that I was having to shoot that stupid fucking head so much in the previous run. I need a bit of a break from that. I'm actually going to try to do well in this quest. So at the moment I'm snapping back and forth between ADS and hipfire so that I can keep a visual on what's happening with the fireballs. It's very important with a monster like this. Keeping an eye out on the ground, ready to roll at any time. Get a little further in just for good grip distance. You should also be using the tail as a good opportunity to get your damage up with Adept. It's getting out of range so I can reload. Should be out of range so I'm not checking the ground. Dangerous reload. Because it could have actually repositioned to hit me better there. When he sort of swings his head around, it means that he's not as directional with his attacks, which means you need to be more careful than ever. I'm setting a focal point, I suppose you could say. So then I can go into hip fire and then just keep an eye on the ground for anything that might be coming my way. In the case of Pierce, as I've said many times before, it is a lot more important that you aim for maximum piercings through the monster versus aiming for weak points. If you can manage to get a really good weak point in a piercing sense, in that the weak point can get a lot of piercing through it, then that's good. But if the weak point can't really be pierced through properly, then do not aim for that with Pierce. You want to get as much of your ammunition through the body as you can. Whoa. Okay. You have to understand that I'm kind of familiar with traditional snap and drag with Fatalis, where he does not change directions like that. Traditional snap and drag is unidirectional. So, alright. Already done with, not normal, fuck off. We've got some level 1 Pierce, which is going to last a long time. Once we're down to level 1 Pierce after completing our Pierce level 2, we will move on to Slicing. So again, to get maximum piercing, I'm aiming for the knee. Sort of adds a... Imagine looking at the monster as if it's comprised of layers that you can pierce through. Aiming for the knee before it pierces through the body and the wings, just adding an extra layer. See, in that situation I aim for the hand, just to add another layer that I can pierce through. And the knee again. And certainly getting a few piercings through the tail. And the rear of the monster in general can be good. Out of range of fireballs, so I'm not checking the ground. Dangerous time to reload, but keeping an eye out on what's happening. Point is, I'm not sitting here, you know, engrossed in conversation while hunting this monster. I'm actually paying attention to the fight. Which is the way to do it, if you actually want to succeed without fail. I'll reload Slicing here. Or just load Slicing, I guess, is how you put it. What bullet guys are you here? Just to deal a little bit of extra damage. If you get the neck instead of the head, it's not the end of the world. The neck is also a decent hit zone for the reason that it's not as easy to hit as, say, the tail or the back legs or anything like that. The harder it is to hit it, generally the more damage you get. Alright, so I would put his health at about 50%, maybe 47, something like that, maybe even less. To be honest, I shouldn't even guess. The more shots I can get on the head with Slicing, the better, because that is very good damage. That might end up being a neck shot. I can live with that. Ooh, his head fucking wrapped around my bullet there. Scary attack. Very easy to get hit by that. Looks like it... Well, perhaps not very easy, but it's easier than you might think. Keeping away here. Oh yes, I do remember, and in fact my most recent 4 Ultimate recording trash, I was actually demonstrating that. I was doing mount spam on Black Fatalis. Actually, not my most recent Random Hunts video. My most recent 4 Ultimate Random Hunts video I did. It was probably the one that came before my most recent Random Hunts video. So I can certainly recall as a good flinch. Head break. Okay, right on that head. Get a good reload here as well. Away from the fireballs and aim for the head. Oh, managed to get the wingtip instead. That's alright, I can live with that. Snap and drag, I'll try to get him at the end of the snap and drag. No, he repositioned. He's turning. Easy turner. again, neck is fine. Not much margin for error with this monster. Although I do have pretty good defense, so if I do take a hit, I'm probably not going to die. At the very least with Moxie, I don't have to worry about that. But the more you play like you're going to get one shot, the better you're going to do overall. I fucking aimed, asshole game. Whatever. Bad time to reload. Death 1 out of 3, as in, you know, 3 that we can actually take. Alright, time to move on to Pierce level 1. I'll just shoot from this distance just for fun. From behind it should be safe. Should be safe. I'm out of critical distance right now, but not so out that it's a waste of time. Well, that's very good. There we go. If you are on that side of the Fatalis, you have to be ready to roll immediately as soon as that head goes down, otherwise you will get hit by that fire. Strange that that didn't proc my adept, but I'll take it. Two consecutively is rough. I don't like that at all. That's uncomfortable. Not so much for me in that situation, but more for the team. Don't really like it when he does 2 consecutively though. Keeping away from you for this one. Sakura is at risk. Alright, fine. Well, that wasn't really a good use of life powder. The 2 people who were at low health were not at risk in that moment, but at the very least I'm saving them healing wares. That's one good thing. Snap and drag, no? Oh, that's dangerous. Sakura managed to get hit in a very understandable manner. Basically, she got hit, or he got hit, right at the impact point of the fire breathing, which happens. It really does happen. Oh, that's a mount. Timing not perfect because we do have one less hunter. But I'm going to try to make the most of it. Oh no. Oh well. Guess it, well, it was a waste in the end, but certainly would have preferred to fight it while down with 3 people as opposed to 4. Well, no. As opposed to no one, is what I meant to say. No. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was a concern. Fortunately, I was quick to respond to that. So I immediately identified what he was trying to do. Nicely played, everyone. Should be able to get all carves here. Are there any turn-based RPGs that I enjoy? Not really. That's not to say that I don't enjoy turn-based RPGs, I just can't think of one that I enjoy to play in particular. Which would indicate that I don't really play them very often. I'm not against them. I do plan to get into them properly in the future. It's just the reason why I haven't is because I'm so focused on all the stuff that I've always wanted to record for YouTube, and I'm still getting on top of that at the moment. I really hope you get what you need, Vernon. If you really didn't get what you needed by the end of this, then I'm happy to do another one. But I won't do more than 2. Well, that would technically be 3, but you know. 2 successful hunts will do it for me. Let me know how you do. Ooh, don't have too many Crimson Fatalis horns anymore. That's an interesting final shot as well. He was too close to the edge for the mount, I see. Yeah, that does happen. And they also... It's also funny that, in 4 Ultimate with the traditional mount system where hitting the monster actually interrupts the mount, monsters can have their mounts interrupted by environmental damage in that game. So I noticed that if monsters were mounted on top of, say, lava, well, not so much, well, I guess lava as well, but especially like a hot surface, then the mount could fail. Chronotrio. Yeah, I definitely heard about that quite a lot in the past. I might finish off with a bit of wine. Well, still got a bit of whiskey left. But I think I'm good for the whiskey for now. Yeah, God, it's so satisfying to see all this whiskey left. Oh, goody. Goody, goody. Thank you, potato. Because it was a purchase that I was going to make anyway. Did you get what you needed, potato? Not potato. Did you get what you needed, Vernon? Okay. So again, for those who are not familiar, this is port, fortified wine. God. What a stark contrast to what I was just drinking. But it's so interesting, if you go from drinking something completely and totally different to something else, the second thing that you will taste, you will be able to notice so much more. You will get such a clearer flavor profile. It's amazing this is almost like black currant. I've never tasted something akin to black currant before in this wine, but I actually got hints of black currant in there. That was interesting. And even the smell, everything, because it's contrast and it's a point of reference that shows you what something is. You know, again, talking about Monster Hunter, you don't know what world is unless you have something to compare it to. Same with this. The better your point of comparison, in other words, depending on how different one thing is from another, it can help to identify how it tastes on its own. All good? Awesome. Well, let's move on to something else. I'm happy to continue. I might do 3 hours this time. A bit longer than usual. If I can't find a room, then... Oh, here we go, I found a room. By the light of the silvery wrap. Fuck off. Join on me, Vernon. We've got a different room this time. Assuming you're happy to continue playing, that is. But I'm glad you got what you needed. Because there's only so much Crimson Fatalis that I can take before I get sick of it. Now I don't have to play seriously anymore, I can take it easy. Oh shit. That's one of the nasty situations with turns rooms. Sometimes they're a little bit too high in demand. Let's look for something else. High rank turns. I don't know if I'm more surprised to see a Hunter rank 200 person putting up a room that says high rank turns, or seeing a Hunter rank 999 willing to join for a high rank turns room. Those are both very shocking things. Yeah, it filled up really fast. It was instantaneous, basically. Help plus Well, sorry, Jimmy, I don't think I'm going to give you help. Because I want some sort of guarantee that I won't have to change rooms. Again, if I can't find a good room, then I will... Oh, Crimson Fatalis. Oh, that's the room that I just made, right. He's still sitting around. Yeah. Punch rank 100 for the minimum. Normal Fatalis. You can just call him Black. He's not going to take offense to it. It's what he is, he's black. Too bad. He might... I mean, what if he's like, I identify as white? You'll have to wait a few years for that, mate. Get it? Because the white Fatalis is an older Fatalis. Ha ha ha. Not very clever, Doomlink. Not very clever. Hunter Boy. This guy would fit in Hunsterverse. You know, I talk a lot of shit about the Hunsterverse community, but it's kind of like my home. I do have a sense of belonging there. That's not to say that I identify as an idiot, but oh, come on. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not impressed that we've already done this quest in this recording, but we'll just stay here. I'm not making Vernon follow me around in other rooms, and even then I wouldn't want to leave for myself either, so let's just do this. Well, I'll use something different. I'll use something like... I'm always choosing not to use Sword and Shield because of this defense. Look at this defense. It cannot get any better. It's as high as it goes. All of these armor pieces are fully upgraded, and I'm still sitting on 663 defense. It's really bad. Transracial. We laugh now, but in 5 years, it will be very, well, I hope not, but maybe in 5 years it'll be extremely offensive to make light of people who are transracial. Anyway. Exactly. Yeah, I'll check it out then, for sure. What the hell am I using? We are... Oh, I can stick with this. Because of a fire weakness. Okay. What you got? Oh, you're still in the process of making it? It's good to see Prosperity. It's funny to see Prosperity. Like, that's probably the best gun of Monster G. Or the best light bow gun of Monster G. And by extension, Freedom 1. There are a lot of weapons in this game that their origins are all the way back in the first games of Monster Hunter. And they still translate well to the modern games. Some of them don't translate as well. It all comes down to what it compares to, you know. How much better is it than something else? Well, Prosperity is still pretty decent in this game. Oh, I see. So you were just showing me the skeleton of the set that you're building. That's cool. Seems like an elemental light bow gun that you've got going there, which is always great. That's the most enjoyment you can get out of light bow gun in this game. It's elemental light bow gun. Very, very fun. Would definitely recommend that for anyone. It's very interesting because my original elemental light bow gun set almost never sees use anymore because it's only to be used in multi-monster quests where you have multiple elemental weaknesses. In other words, it utilizes the White Fatalis light bowgun. And I just don't use it anymore because it, for an individual element, let's say if I'm fighting a monster that is exclusively weak to fire, or at the very least its primary weakness is significantly one element, I would just use the respective element light bowgun that I have with internal ammo. Because an internal ammo based set is just so much nicer. I do enjoy rapid fire, but beyond that, and I also enjoy the convenience of having one bowgun for everything. But you can get so much out of light element in this game. So much fun. Someone's pinging for something. What are you pinging for? You've already got a trap down? I like that. I like that. This guy knows what he's doing. Immediately puts down a trap. He doesn't sit there waiting forever. As I said in the previous video, you either trap early or you wait. Well, you either trap early or you wait for exhaustion, but because this is a hyper monster, that means you trap early. And I guess your third option is not to trap at all. Oh, you dickhead. That's about right. Well, I guess we really have to kill you now, don't we? Let's kill this fucking dickhead. If you leave it for long enough, another one actually spawns, interestingly. Oh, I forgot to ask Potato if he actually ended up trying Charge Blade. Because he hates Charge Blade, and I told him to give it a try. I'm guessing he hasn't. I guess it does take time, doesn't it? You need to actually get a decent Charge Blade, and then you have to make a set for it. I mean, you could always do training. I don't know. No, I won't do Energy Blade. Aiming for those legs. I like to aim for the legs because it just feels like I'm achieving something with the monster. If I can break all legs, it feels like I've gone through the process of harming the monster. Alright, I might do Rip a Shield just to get my files back up. Probably could have used all of my files, to be honest, before doing that. And then I might Energy Blade you here. Yeah. Very, very satisfying. I love Energy Blade. But I've only got Energy Blade 2. I don't know how to get level 3 because I never check. I've said this before, but if I ever have level 3 for a Hunter Art, I have not actively completed a quest to acquire it. I just happened to get it by completing quests that I've done. I've done a lot. I've done the vast majority of the villager quests in the game, and I've done the vast majority of the G-rank quests in the game, so therefore I do have most Hunter Arts at level 3. But there are still some that I'm missing, and apparently Energy Blade's one of them, which makes sense because Energy Blade's very good, so I guess it's some quest that I really just haven't wanted to do because it probably really, really sucks, but or maybe it's one of the last villager requests, something like that. Alright, we're gonna Rip a Shield in a moment. Not like right now, because this monster's gearing up for a charging attack. Alright, giving me a bit of an opportunity here. I apologise if you can't see what the fuck is going on. I can appreciate that that might be difficult to see what's happening, because I'm sort of stuck in the middle of the fight here. Oh, fuck off, Selvas. Seriously, you are a nuisance. Fucking pest. He's probably about to leave, yeah. We really do need to kill him after getting him in a trap and attacking him then. Feels like that should happen. Oh shit, I do have chroma key issues. Should be alright. I don't know how long it's been like that. I hope I haven't had chroma key issues for most of this recording. That would be really fucking annoying. There's one thing that I absolutely hate, and it's chroma key issues. I used to own rabbits, trash. Used to have them dig a little bit. They love it. Nothing makes a rabbit happier than getting out in the backyard and digging. You should do it. If you've got pet rabbits, you should let them dig. And if they get out, then it's just the way it goes. But they have to dig. It's what they like to do. It's like taking away a bird's ability to fly, which people do. Clip their wings and put them in a cage. Imagine doing that. Is what it is. I'm not like an animal rights activist, but I'll tell you what, if you were a bird, and you had your ability to fly taken away, and put in a cage, particularly if you were a long, living bird, like some sort of parrot species, well, I don't think you'd be having much fun, that's all I can say. Alright. Let's get that red shield. No, don't even need to get that red shield, eh? Don't even need to get it. Because that is a dead Hypersolus Queen. Thank you very much. I really hope that I haven't been having chroma key issues for very long. The problem with it is that in certain situations, unless there's a really clear contrast between the visual noise of bad chroma key and the background, so in other words, if the background's dark then I can't really see it if I glance over, but if it's a really bright background then I will notice it and then I can change it. But you know, oftentimes I will check a recording after it's done and I'll have like shitty chroma key and I'll just be like, shit, because I can't change it, can't fix it. We definitely have a rabbit problem over here, Trash, particularly where I live. There are rabbits everywhere. They come in cycles, but sometimes they're just all over the place, and it's definitely the case at the moment. I think in my street we've got 3 rabbits hanging around. So, in my street. Like you walk outside the door and there's just rabbits hopping around. I like it, but I like rabbits, but you don't want too many of them. But it breaks my heart to have to kill them. And that's what happens, you know, they become too numerous and then you just have to cull them a bit by poisoning them. And it's not very nice, but unfortunately they just breed way too much. And you know why they don't have natural predators? It's because we've been killing all the fucking foxes. You kill the foxes, then nothing's there to kill the rabbits. I'm not a fucking ecologist, but that's what I think is going on. All I can say is that we don't really take kindly to wild foxes around here. You go into bushland in Australia, or at least here in New South Wales, my state, and you will see, not all the time, but sometimes you'll see bait for foxes, which are designed to kill foxes. And if you have anything to post, Vernon, you can. If not, then we can move on to Cremita. Yes, foxes do love rabbits, I'm sure they do. But, you know, it stands to reason to me that if... skip. I love how this guy, he's like Lord Player 2. I'm not here to... Thank God Cremita is here to... how do I say? Words, Doomlink. What is it? It's not manage, there's another word that I'm looking for. Whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, it would make sense to me that if both rabbits and foxes are being baited and killed, then... if rabbits are missing natural predators, then I would say the foxes would probably be that natural predator, but we're killing them as well, so... it's kind of funny. Well, we're not killing enough rabbits, clearly. If we were killing enough rabbits, there wouldn't be a rabbit problem. But I don't really want them to die. What are we hunting again? I saw it on the board and I've already forgotten. Shit. I do that all the time. It's like how you check the time and you still don't know what time it is. Oh, that's right. Alrighty. Something... oh, I can go Sword and Shield for a change. How about that? How about that? Because Chameleos is a monster that I'm quite content with having bad defense going up against. Any monster that I have all the confidence in the world in fighting, then I'll be willing to go Sword and Shield, because again, my defense is so low with this set. Alright, what have we got? Check this page. Just looking for Exchanger. Did I see it? No, that's Explorer. Ultimate Rice. Here we go. I don't need... oh, very good, very good. 729. my passive goal in this game is to get to Hunt Rank 999. I've never reached Hunt Rank 999 in a Monster Hunter game before. And if it's going to be in any game, it's going to be this one, because it's so easy to get a Hunter rank up in this game. Again, for those who don't know, my Hunter ranks across the, HR break Monster Hunter games are, well, for Try it was 568, which was the hardest game to get Hunter rank ups with. 3 Ultimate is about 370. 4 Ultimate is about 570. And in this game it's 729. But I haven't reached 999 in any of them. I don't know. It's a lot of work sometimes. Well, it's either you've played the game a shitload, or you've really worked to get your Hunter rank as high as possible. There are a lot of people who are Hunter rank 999 who have just focused on getting as many Hunter rank points as possible. Where does Camelio start in this area? Oh, yeah, I know where you start. I guess I'll go this way. I mean, I'm going the long way, let me make that clear, but that's alright. Now, I can live with that. Mainly because everyone else is kind of far from him as well. So me getting there nice and quickly is not that important. Whoa. So I don't know if it's really the same in this game as it was traditionally. Like aiming for the back legs gives you a good knockdown. It probably is that way. I'll tell you one thing that I really appreciate going from 2nd gen to 4th gen with Camellios is the fact that the tail doesn't give you as heavy a flinch as it did. In the old games, if you were anywhere near that tail when he pressed it down to give you wind pressure, you were getting sent flying away. Not flying really, but you were getting pushed away anyway. Oh, I see. Well, if you ever want to hunt with me, you are welcome to, Trash. Because Vern always comes in and hunts. He doesn't have much competition, he's the only one who wants to come and hunt. I used to have people who hunted with me back on Twitch, but I don't stream on Twitch anymore. I might return to streaming on Twitch in the future, because it's very difficult to really get more of an audience on YouTube. I mean, I knew that when I decided to go YouTube exclusively, but I'm not going to get into that subject. But if I can re-upload at good quality on YouTube, I might go back to streaming on Twitch. But I used to have a group of people on Twitch who would come and hunt with me and Ethan. And we'd rotate in and out. Well, that's a shame. But, yeah, these days, just Vernon. Which I enjoy, of course. And Vernon was hunting in those days too. Or perhaps not, because I think he didn't have Generations Ultimate. From my memory, Vernon had Generations Ultimate but lost his save, and it sort of prompted him to stop playing, and then he started a new save, which is the save that he has now. So he's playing again. And that's been over the last year or so, since he started playing again. Having a bad day today? Well, I was having a bad day last time I was recording, so I can definitely relate. Nothing against you. Chaos Oil, let's do it. Yeah, it is what it is. Some days, like seriously, it's as if everything is there to kill you. Sometimes you'll just come on a Monster Hunter and you'll just die over and over and over again, and you will wonder why, because it's just not normal. You know, typically you can just avoid death, but on one day, you'll just keep on dying. I'm not getting any knockdowns, maybe I should just aim for actual damage. which is going to be a little bit better at the front of the body. Sword dances. Oh, don't hit me, please. Well, I can take that hit. Look how much damage I took from that. It's such a gentle attack, but it hit me like a truck. What I probably should do is reduce the chroma key settings, but increase the brightness of my room. Something like that. Oh no, I think it's kind of fine. It's probably fine. Stop worrying about it, Doomlink. Your chroma key's fine now, at least as far as I can tell. There we go, there's a knockdown. It takes a long time to get a knockdown in this game, which is a good change to make. Chameleos was way too easy in the older games because of how easy it was to get a knockdown on the back legs. But there were certain aspects to Chameleos in the older games that were harder to deal with. One was his breathing attack. In this game it's just poison. In the older games, instead of poison, he would breathe. You know when he would get on his back legs and sort of breathe down in front of him with purple mist? Well, in that game it was green mist, and what it would do was it would completely... It would automatically set your stamina to 0, and that wasn't temporary, that was permanent. It would just permanently set your stamina to 0. So it was this vicious cycle of you bringing an ancient potion to the hunt so that you could combat that scenario, and then him just stealing your fucking ancient potion, because that's what he does, he steals your stuff. He's all the way over there? What the fuck? Okay, I'm gonna save time. Saving time. Getting ahead of my teammates. No, not even getting ahead of them because I'm so slow. I'm so slow. Oh, Cremita, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really thought I was going to get ahead of them, and then I realized that the entire reason why I was taking that shortcut was because I was actually that fucking slow. It felt necessary. And it still didn't even help me. Still didn't help me. Oh, you don't have a switch yet. Trash. Well, yeah, if it comes down to you not being able to get one right now for financial reasons, then that's fair. But if there isn't a financial barrier, I would definitely recommend getting onto Generations Ultimate. See, when you said Gen, I wasn't sure if that was just you not mentioning that it was Gen U, but yeah, it's really good to just take your save from Generations and put it on Generations Ultimate and just play through. It's good fun, and I think you'd get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And what I think is that you should do it before Rise comes out, so that you can keep yourself occupied before Rise comes out, and also give yourself a chance to really warm up for it. And also just enjoy a Monster Hunter on the fucking Switch instead of the 3DS. Which is of course a much better experience. I don't know if I really should be aiming for the back legs at this point. The knockdown frequency is so fucking low compared to the older games. Well, he's using that. The Chinese guy's using the wire effect of the bow, which is something I've never used. I've only ever seen other people use it. I've never used it myself. Against my better judgment, I'll aim for the tail. I say against my better judgment because the health of the Chameleo's tail is very high. It takes a lot to actually break it, as of 4th generation. Try to sword dance. There we go, should be good. Very good. I'll probably do one more hunt after this, and that should do me. Even though I'm I'm kind of unsure as to whether or not I should be aiming for the back legs. I just do it out of pure habit. Pure habit is drawing me to those back legs. I've not seen the Japanese Rise Switch. The thing is, they always have very nice Japan exclusive consoles for Monster Hunter releases. They've always done that. Always, always, always. So, well, not always. As of around Freedom 2, they did that. Max Potion was stolen. All the fucking time. You bring Max Potions to a Chameleos hunt, don't expect them to stick around. That's all I can say. See how my hand is fucking see-through. Well, I'm being attacked, hello. I'm so fucking worried about the chroma key under these sort of lighting circumstances. Okay, let's go and heal ourselves and also heal the poison. Otherwise we're gonna have a problem. But no, I would not say that that's off topic, Trash. I mean, that's very on topic. Talking about the limited edition Rise Switch is definitely a topic for this conversation. It's getting a bit brighter outside. To lower the chroma key again. I will do that. Alright. I just don't want to be turning invisible, you know. I don't want that. I should tell you guys a story. Oh, Large Elder Dragon Gem. Very good. I pre-ordered Rise, the physical copy, about 4 weeks ago. And it's very interesting because back when I used to pre-order Monster Hunter games, the people working in the stores didn't know what the fuck Monster Hunter was, obviously. But as of World, it's kind of... anyone who plays lots of video games knows exactly what Monster Hunter is. And so I went in there and said, I'd like to pre-order Monster Hunter Rise. And, first time I've ever had this. The guy said, what were his words? He said, "As you should be." And I laughed. I'm like, and I can't remember how the conversation continued from there. Wish I had a clearer memory of it. Well, either way, what was said, regardless of how it progressed, I said, "Yeah, I'm a long-time player." And he said, "Yeah, I played World and I enjoyed it. And I played the demo for..." Oh, that's how it started. He said, "Have you played the demo?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm a long-time player of the series." And he said, "Yeah, I played World and I really liked it, but I played the Rise demo," and I was like, Oh no, he said he played the demo for Generations Ultimate and didn't really like it. And he said, "Rise is something between the two," and I said, "Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a balance between those two eras of Monster Hunter." And that was kind of the extent of the conversation, but it was just very odd having a conversation with a guy in a fucking game store, working in a game store, about Monster Hunter. You just wouldn't get that even 4 years ago. You wouldn't get that. Wouldn't get that. Alright, one more hunt. Cremita. Well, seeing as though he was... Oh, I had the word on the tip of my tongue. You should... Well, I'm sure... No, you don't, Mr. Chinese. I have to fucking tell them. P4. For the benefit of the benefit of the Chinese guy, I have to say. But, it's P4. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's crazy that World sold as well as it did. It was definitely to be expected. I remember doing an update video in 2017 when World was first announced, saying that this was Capcom's opportunity to break out into a larger audience than they've ever had opportunity, or ever had the opportunity to access in the past. And there is every suggestion that this is going to go big. It's going to get big, and it did. It went huge because Capcom capitalized on that. They knew what they had. They knew they had the formula. They just had to make it accessible, and that's exactly what they did. And they advertised on top of that. They knew exactly what to do with that advertising. They, you know, paid off a bunch of streamers to go and play the game, and I'll tell you what, it exploded. And that's exactly the way it went. But you know, for the mainstream gamers, World is just a game that... It was a game of 2018. That's all it is to the mainstream gamers, really. The people who stick to it now are the people who are loyal. The real mainstream gamers don't play World anymore, and they don't care about it anymore either. Because the mainstream gamers are they have very short attention spans, you know. Hyper-Raytheon. Interesting quest. Let's go with bow. Let's go heavy bow. Something a little different. What is my dragon heavy bow? What would that be? Bow of Ice and Violence? No. Hopefully it's not a load-up. Oh, Magnastar Will. No. Polestar Tangaroa. That's what you are. That's what you are. You're my heavy dragon bow. I remember that. Okay. There's my heavy... You guys have never, ever seen me use heavy on camera. You've never seen it. Well, you're about to see it. Well, that's exactly right. It's the fact that you need more preparation in traditional Monster Hunter. You need to be careful, and if you are doing the wrong thing, you will not be convinced that you're doing the right thing. It's not going to feel good. To be more clear, if you're doing the wrong thing, you will suffer. And that's not good for beginners. It's not good for mainstream gamers. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. But you know, it is what it is. I like this set. Although Bio-Researcher is a bit of an add-on skill. Oh, sorry, Cremita. I'm so sorry. I have coatings to buy. I nearly departed without coatings. We're not doing that. We're not playing that game. Not today. This is a very good bow, by the way. One of the best in the game. It was hidden in plain sight, Trash, because that's exactly what mainstream gamers are like. It's so easy for them to just miss an amazing formula. Because they need to have it handed to them. That's all they care about. The only games that a mainstream gamer will play are the games that are placed in front of them. Because it's just how they are. They have this misunderstanding that a good game is a game that everyone else plays. You know what is required for a game that everyone plays? Advertising. A well-advertised game is not necessarily a good game. There are exceptions to that. Is this... That's fucking funny. That's really fucking funny, and I'm gonna tell you why. Help! And then he dies. That's fucking funny. Alright. Yeah, 4 Ultimate was the first time Capcom really tried, well, not 4 Ultimate, I suppose, strictly speaking, it would be Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 4 was the first time that they really tried to have something more accessible, and the way that they did it was by having something more story-driven. They tried a lot harder with the story. A lot harder. The beginning of Monster Hunter 4 versus any game that preceded it was totally different. Totally different. Because it actually felt like you were involved in a story. That was the big shortcoming of Monster Hunter for many people. It really was. It was the fact that there wasn't really much of a story. You were just going around hunting monsters. For me, that was fine, because that's not what made Monster Hunter special. It wasn't the story, it was the gameplay experience. But 4 Ultimate and 4 really tried to get people invested in some sort of story in the village quest. It was the first time they put effort into that, and you could really see it. And for me, that was a much more respectable way to garner interest, but oh, fuck off. No, you fucking don't. Yeah. It was really funny from my perspective. You couldn't see it because I'm in the way of the chat, but I see help and then just death. It's very funny. No, fucking hell. Heavy is kind of fun. I don't often do it. The main reason being that I do not have a load up heavy set yet. For some reason I just never got around to... Well, I do have a load up heavy set. It's just not... It's not the way I would like it. I had armor sets for all of my bow shot types, for both non-load up and load up, and I remade them all, except for load up heavy. And so I kind of don't want to use that old set. I mean, it's fine, it's just... I don't know. Not a huge fan. You can see the arc for heavy is much... Well, it's completely different to rapid. The most comparable arrow type to heavy is rapid, and it's a little different in this case because it is one single arrow, not 3, in a tight bunch. And it has a very... of course. I mean, I could see that coming from space, really. That's why I said of course, because I expected that. But I didn't even... I wasn't even... 2 deaths in, guys. Hyper fucking Raytheon. What a joke. Are we... Okay, good. Someone ate for insurance. Thank God for that. I didn't think that would be necessary, but apparently it is. Fucking Hyper Raytheon. 2 deaths. And both of the deaths are from bow players too. It is what it is. Kind of funny. Well, it would be funnier if it weren't so pathetic. Alright, let's drink a Mega Dash juice. Oh, Cremita! Holy shit, what is this team? I understand that I've contributed to this, but I don't know what to say to you. Other than, I'm disappointed. Fucking hell. Imagine if we failed this quest. If we do fail this quest, I'm not ending the live stream on such a sour note. I don't think we'll actually fail. I think we'll be alright, but fucking hell. Yeah, insurance, it's really interesting. A lot of people, I think Vernon's the one eating for insurance, and the reason why I say that is because most people do not eat for insurance, but every single time we've had insurance, and the other constant, aside from insurance, is Vernon's presence. So my guess is that he's the one eating for insurance, which stands to reason, because he's a fairly competent hunter. And the reality is most people don't really eat for insurance. They don't think to do it. They either don't know it exists, or it just doesn't cross their mind. But it is a very, very useful skill. Very useful. One negative aspect to heavy is the fact that the aiming, like that aiming line that's drawn, doesn't curve downwards to reflect the path of heavy shots. That's not to say that I require the guide. I actually don't. What I hate is that the guide is not reflective of the arrow type. That's what I dislike. I don't like that part of it. What is this guy doing? Is that... No, that's not blast, that's poison. I see this guy doing really, really frequent spread shots on a bow with no element being applied, and I'm thinking, is this guy using the Kelby deer shot? That's the first thing that came to mind. I nearly shat. But no, he's doing something a little different to that. But still, you don't really see people using the Camellia's bow. That's not really common at all. Yeah, anyone who's experienced the Kelby deer shot knows that it's not okay to bring that into a game outside of 3 Ultimate. It's just not okay. How are you still alive, you cunt? You female dragon. But I hope you can appreciate the enjoyment that one can get out of heavy. I don't use it that often, so... But for a quest like this, fuck yeah, I'll be using it. Just need to get used to the arc a little bit. Once you get used to the arc, you can be pretty damn effective with it. It really has the potential to be more effective than rapid, let me tell you that. Because again, it's harder to be on target with it, so therefore you're given more of a reward. I guess it's more rewarding to get a hit off with heavy than rapid, simply by virtue of the fact that it is harder to get it off accurately. That area? Really? Okay. Oh. What is it that strengthens Shadow Box again? It's not Feline Fighter or something like that. It's something else. What is it? I used to remember... I don't know what it is. I used to remember the names of all the feline skills, particularly from the Tri era, but I've just forgotten them now. It's not Shadow Boxer. Is it really Feline Shadow Boxer? It might be Feline Shadow Boxer. But anyway, at least that's probably what it was in Tri, but I don't know. Alright, we're gonna do it. Oh! Vernon's going straight for the capture, it looks like. Yeah, straight for the capture. I don't usually capture hyper monsters. But yeah, I usually don't go and capture monsters or hyper monsters, because the way I look at it is that a hyper monster which is much stronger than your regular sort of monster, I feel would give you more of a reward for killing it than capturing it. So... I don't know if it's placebo or what, but I feel like I get better chances to get hyper materials from a kill. Almost all the time I get better chances from killing, but I don't really care either way. It's not my quest. It's not Vernon's either, actually. So. Either way. The strengthened kick feline skill is called Feline Dick Kick Deluxe. Somehow I don't think so. There is one for the kicking animation though. Oh, that's been trademarked. There you go. Very good. Very good. Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this recording. We've gone for 3 hours. Usually I keep it to 2 hours because I don't really like to go for longer than that. At least, not usually, but today I felt like going for a little bit longer. So I hope you guys enjoyed the extra hour. I will see you next time I'm going live in Monster Hunter. I'm trying to record Monster Hunter more frequently. Again, do expect some Monster Hunter Freedom in the Random Hunt series this week sometime. I don't know exactly when that will happen, but it will happen. But I do thank you for watching, and I will see you next time I go live or upload anything that you would like to watch in the future. I will see you later. Bye bye.